How you doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I definitely appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, the VP debate between Tampon Walz and JD Vance. Really interesting. So-called moderating from CBS. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Hurricane Helene has done quite a bit of damage all over North Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, parts of Virginia, West Virginia, maybe even Kentucky. I'm not quite sure. South Carolina got hit pretty hard as well. We'll talk about all that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we have 120 brand new Diddy accusers from a lawyer in Texas. And the lawyer said that between 2,000 to 3,000 people contacted him to be part of the civil action. No criminal action is being alleged from the 120 people. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the Longshoreman strike made this mean a shortage of goods. Your cars, anything that gets shipped overseas and comes to the East Coast specifically is at risk of being out of stock, unavailable for a while, or just a little bit more expensive. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. And you'll never guess who is casting their vote for Kamala Harris. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And before we get to anything, a spoiler alert, it's not me who's going to vote for Kamala. I don't think this person knows they're going to vote for Kamala. We'll talk about who that is a little bit more a little bit later, but we got a whole lot going on. Shout out to y'all for coming back. If you were here last night, I appreciate y'all joining for the VP debate last night. We had over 7,000 concurrent in the chat. So shout out to y'all for coming through. I really appreciate it. But we got a whole lot going on tonight. There's a lot of clips I got, a lot of new things I have for you guys, a lot of topics that we've discussed. We got to go into a little bit deeper, some updates, a little bit of everything. Yes, Garfowski. Hey, you're already ahead of me. Hey, you're already ahead of me, Garfowski. So shout out to you. See, that's why you're my people. That's why you're my people. But anyway, we got a lot we're going to get into. But y'all know how I do. First things first. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to y'all. You guys are the sponsors. If you're just watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing, I really appreciate y'all for being here. But also, shout out to my other sponsors, patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or just type in patriotpost.us in your browser, tell them that ABL sent you. Also, go to ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, go to the regular website. Thank you, Sheree, for posting the link, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website for each article. For each video that I produce, write an article, and in each article, you got sources from the left, from the right, from the politically agnostic, the centrist, the local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it as long as it's legal and I can post it. I'm allowed to by law in this US of A. It's going to be right there on the website for 100% free. So if you go to one of my videos and I can't play something, or it's got to get censored and the cuss words taken out, if you want to hear all that and all its glory and see everything in full, go to the website. That'll be your resource. Again, anthonyblogan.com. ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Also, go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact. I think that's contact-us. Go to the menu. It'll take you there, the little 3 lines. Go to the contact page. It'll take you there. On the contact page, you're able to find my contact information, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never gonna call it X. Also, my TikTok is on there. I am on TikTok because the Gen Zs and millennials, if you don't talk to them within 1 minute, 10 seconds, they don't know nothing. Okay, as soon as them 2 seconds are over with, they have lost they have lost the attention span that they had. As soon as that 0.5 seconds is over with, they don't know nothing. So TikTok, I'm there to try and grasp that particular crowd. And if you like that platform, that's why I'm there. I'll prefer not to be there because China, but hey, man, it is what it is. It is what it is. I got to do my work from the inside rather than the outside. So I'm on TikTok, but all my social media platforms are on there, on the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact us. Also, my email address is on there. Well, my email address, contact@anthonyblogan.com. Also, my snail mail address is on there. You can mail me something in my P.O. box. That'd be the best way to send me something in the mail physically. I don't know where else you're going to send it, but if it goes to the P.O. box, I'll most certainly get it. And I do read you guys' emails, although I may not respond, but I get a lot of emails every day. So I do read them, but I may not have time to respond. But shout out to you guys for sending me tips, inside information, all that good stuff. And as far as I know, you didn't send me anything. I didn't even see the email. That'd be what I tell to the federales that they come knocking. Okay. What email? I don't recall. I don't recall opening that email on my Android phone. What you mean? I don't recall that. I don't recall. Okay. Did I respond? I don't recall. I don't really recall responding. So nah, that's what I'm gonna say. And it is what it is. So shout out to you guys. I really appreciate it. But as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you are conversing with me or not, please, please, please use a little bit of common sense, okay? I'm not going to be on these interwebs promising you billions of dollars. If I could promise you that, I get it from myself, okay? If I could promise you that, you would see pictures of me on Instagram on a yacht with a jet suit on, you understand? With one of them jet packs floating up in the water. It'd be shooting air from the water, and I'd be flying like Dr. Octopus in the Spider-Man series. I'd be looking like that if I had billions of dollars. So, you know I'm not going to be able to hit you up talking about, hey, send me the gift cards right now, and that will transform it to millions. I ain't going to change your life. I would never be in the comment section like that, so please don't fall for that. Because what's happening is you're going to find some Nigerian dude scamming you, or Eastern European, or a Chinese dude. Could be a Fang situation. A lot of my guys are getting caught up like that. Fang, yum. Okay, it might be one of those. And I personally get those types of requests in my inbox all the time. Twitter, especially, everywhere. Every single app, online thing, it'll be some spam in my comments. It's like I'm on LinkedIn. Why am I getting comments in my inbox with some random Asian lady talking about hi handsome? I know that's not what that is. I know this is probably some dude with a whole bunch of chest hair, probably threw his wife beater in the basement somewhere, India or something, trying to get my information, okay? I'm not going to fall for it, and I don't want you guys to fall for it either. But shout out to you guys for being here. I really, really appreciate it. If you like what you're hearing so far, y'all know what to do. Please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, now, I want to get straight to the clips because didn't I allude to something earlier? Didn't I allude to somebody voting for Kamala, but not knowing it? Now, before I show you this, this is really crazy. I don't know what's going on here, but whatever is happening, they need to stop. Okay, Jimmy Carter, he just turned 100 years old. And look, can I just be totally honest without being offensive? Can I? Y'all, please don't get triggered. Don't get offended. But look, he just turned 100 and he looks every day of that 100. He looks like a sarcophagus out there. This is crazy. Now, before I show you this guy, if you didn't see the video, let me just read this right quick, okay? Let me just read this. Shout out Colin Rugg for the write-up. Former President Jimmy Carter celebrated his 100th birthday yesterday in Plains, Georgia. Carter was not looking forward to his birthday. He was not looking forward to his birthday, according to his son, but is instead looking forward to voting for Kamala Harris. For real? Now, when I show you this guy, if you didn't see the video, you're going to be like, he's going to vote for real? I mean, now, Carter's son claims his father wants to stay alive because he is just so excited to cast a vote for Kamala Harris, who received no votes in a Democrat primary. He said he didn't care about that. It's just a birthday. He said he cared about voting for Kamala Harris, according to Carter's son. Now, you guys ready for this? Look at this. That's him right there. I mean, listen, this is nuts. I don't know what kind of drugs they got him on, but yo, enough is enough, man. This is elder abuse. Look at this, man. Mouth completely open, no movement, staying still. He might weigh 100 pounds. Like, this is crazy. Okay, now look. Have you guys been to like a nursing home and you see somebody on the vent, like a ventilator, and they're real old and they just don't need to be there anymore? Listen, man, we all got to go sometime. You can't live forever. Ain't nobody immortal. Jimmy Carter, I don't know what's going on, but you think do you think he's going to be able to go out there and vote for Kamala Harris in that condition? For real? Come on, man. Like, why we got to lie like that? See, that's what I don't like. That's what I don't like is the gaslighting. You mean to tell me this man is excited to vote for Kamala Harris? For real? How? This man can't even close his mouth, man. He can't close he just is pretty much deceased. And I don't wish it on that guy. I know we got the feds watching. Shout out to Jimmy Carter. Hopefully, Jimmy Carter, you live to be 1,000 years old. But come on, man. That is crazy. Listen, one swift wind, it is over. It's over. Yo, I mean, Democrats, they love beating up these elder abuse, parading around. Joe Biden was in decline in 2020. That's why they put him in the basement. Dianne Feinstein, they had her out there, looking crazy in the wheelchair, rolling her out there when they knew she shouldn't have been there. She's on the Senate floor or whatever she was, House floor, Senate floor, whatever. And her aides are telling her, yeah, go ahead and vote this way. She don't know what's going on. She's out of her mind. They're saying, yeah, go ahead and vote yay. What? I thought it was a responsibility of the elected official to cast their own vote rather than having the vote be dictated to them. You see? I mean, listen, Jimmy Carter has minutes at this point. Minutes. I don't know what kind of drugs they got him on. Some kind of advanced next level stuff. Because this is crazy, man. I mean, yo. Come on, man. And who is Michael Clark? Is this Green Mile? Is this the Uncle Charles from Bone? Is he going to touch him in his forehead and then will that be it? Waiting for the right time to go there and just push the button and have it be over with? Like, what is going on with my man right here in the lime green? Have his polo shirt. I have this polo with the gray stripe on the side. It's crazy. But yeah, shout out to the polo gang and bald head gang. But yeah, Green Mile, it might be his time to go ahead and go to the upper room. To the upper room. Now, we got a lot of videos we're going to get into. We're going to get into the debate and whatnot. But this is a person who was in favor of Tim Walz. Now, I'm going to play this video, and I want you guys to let me know what you see that might be a little bit off, a little bit different. Y'all let me know. Let me put it on the screen for you guys.
The college Democrats, you're the
RP to the headphone user. Sorry for the loud noise. Let me start from the top. There we go.
The college Democrats, you're the president of the college Democrats.
Yep, that's
how you feeling about the enthusiasm? Your name and how you feeling?
My name is Rose, and I'm feeling great. This is going to be a great debate. Oh, sorry, I touched you there. I'm so enthusiastic. Walz is going to do so well.
All right, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. I really appreciate talking to you guys, Rachel. They got the college Democrats. You're the president of the college Democrats.
Yep.
So, does the president of the college Democrats look a little different to you? Do you see something a little special about this person? I don't know who this person sounds like. They sound like a little league baseball coach or something, a youth pastor. I don't know what's going on, but it's a little something different. Just a little something different. See that right there? That kind of tells you who we're dealing with. That tells you everything. Tampon Tim. Of course you're going to like Tampon Tim. Why not? Why wouldn't you like Tampon Tim?
Yep, that's
How you feeling about the enthusiasm? Your name and how you feeling?
my name is Rose, and I'm feeling great. This is going to be a great debate. Oh, sorry, I touched you there. I'm so enthusiastic. Walz is going to do so well.
All right, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. I really.
All righty, so there we go. Bina got it right. I was thinking the same thing. You sound like Ross, but your name is Rose. That might be homie's dead name. That his dead name might be Ross, but he just feminized it to Rose. Okay, that might be what's going on there. So yeah, that kind of tells you who is in favor of Tampon Tim. That's kind of what's going on. All right, let's watch some of this from Megyn Kelly talking about Kamala not really being the sharpest tool in the shed.
Watch the light bulb go on over Kamala Harris's head when she realizes she has no damn plan for if there's divided government and she can't shove through her agenda. Watch.
Expanding that child tax credit, or you mentioned housing before, giving that extra money for a first home. If you can't raise corporate taxes, or if GOP takes control of the Senate, where do you get the money to do that? Do you still go forward with those plans and borrow?
Well, but we're going to have to raise corporate taxes, and we're going to have to make sure that the biggest corporations and billionaires pay their fair share.
I mean, really, anybody who is in favor of Kamala Harris, Democratic Party, is this who you want to represent your party and your nation? This person? Stringing two words together for her is a challenge. I don't want this person anywhere near the button.
It's just it. It's about paying their fair share.
She's an idiot. She's an idiot. She has no idea what she's talking about. I don't know if she understood the question. The question is, what if you cannot get this through in a divided government so that corporations pay more? And the answer is, they just have to pay more. They have to. That's just it. That is just it. She sounds like one of those moronic TikTokers you see. That's just it. She sounds like a 4-year-old. That's her level of understanding. Don't believe any of these promises. She can't do it. She doesn't have a plan to fund it.
Yeah, there's nothing that she has. Kamala is not a leader. You know, what they try to do in the federal government is make the president be an employee of the corporation of the USA rather than being a leader. They try to make him be an employee. Just tell them what to do. All right, Kamala, here's your agenda for today. Go out here and do this, this, and this, and then that's it. And when it comes time for questions, when you get asked questions on, if you are trying to get to your vehicle, not to your vehicle, you're trying to go from the vehicle to the plane on the tarmac, and they're shouting questions at you. If you do a press conference, if you go speak, just say this, this, and this when they ask you these kind of questions. Tampon Tim got the same talk, which is why during the debate he seemed pretty weird as usual, and which is funny because he took credit for starting he's a weird guy astroturfing campaign. They were trying to say that J.D. Vance and Donald Trump were weird. That was the astroturfing campaign that he started. But in reality, when we see them, meaning J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, they appear to be real leaders, normal people, level-headed. They appear to be the guys who are the adults in the room. Tim Walz, on the other hand, is like, I don't know, man. He is 60 or 61 years old, but he has this kind of nervous, scared little boy type face going on. And that's not going to be a good look for a leader of a country. All right. Not even for the leader of a football team, Tampon Tim. How did you win any games with that kind of mentality going on? But anyway, I digress. All right. So I'm not quite sure when this video was from. It might be an older video. I don't know really what it's from, but I just wanted to play it. All right. Check it out.
What was the best thing Kamala said today?
Everything she said.
Everything?
Everything.
That's kind of a glaze.
What did Trump say it was?
Well, he didn't have a rally today, sir.
Everyone I heard from. All I heard was about him.
Yeah, it's all about him, though. He earned his way to get there. He's a billionaire.
He didn't earn that.
He earned it, sir.
He did not.
Sir, he earned it. How did he not
did
earn
not
it?
earn it.
How did he not earn it?
You know why he didn't earn it?
Why did he not earn it?
His father gave that all of that to him.
Oh, he gave him $1 million. He turned it into a billy,
And
sir.
you know
Don't
what
be
he did?
jealous
No,
because
he
he turned it.
didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he did
yes,
not.
I was bad.
You know why
I was
he
alive
didn't?
back then. I saw it. I saw it happen.
He blew it all there and turned bankruptcy 6 times.
I think you're just hating on his grind just because he got a lot of bread and you didn't.
I didn't get much bread at all.
I know that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's why I think you're jealous of him.
Am I jealous of him? I despise him.
Well, he's hot, though. He's 6'3", too.
Oh, yeah, right.
So
Why
what?
do you have to bring that up, height?
Because he's tall. It's an attractive feature to women.
Yeah, the taller they are, the harder they fall.
Oh, I get triggered by the tall thing. That's funny.
Take him to fight?
Yeah, I'd take him.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, why don't you set it up?
Donald Trump. Call him out right now on the camera.
Donald Trump, anytime, anywhere.
Oh, my God. OG
Yeah,
wants
yeah,
Donald
sir.
Trump. Battle
You
of
know, This is bullshit.
But like a lot of the older generation who watch the MS-13, DNC, all that kind of stuff, they get really offended. They get super offended at Donald Trump. That's like that's their button. You push that button, man, they go off. They're ready to crash out. Imagine being 75 years old and crashing out over one guy you don't like. That's crazy. I would never do that. I don't care how bad the person is. Listen, Kamala is real bad. Kamala is next level bad. Kamala is just absolute dumpster fire with just the worst scent from the dumpster ever. She's that bad. But I'm not going to crash out over Kamala. I'm not going to just, do all that extra stuff trying to fight and carrying on. It's okay. I'm just going to vote differently. I'm going to show you some videos and I'm going to just point at what I don't like and talk about the policy and crack a few jokes and that's it. I'm not going to crash out over somebody, but a lot of the people on the left side of things, they go to crashing out. Okay, that's their whole MO. But if you like what you're hearing so far, I know what to do. Please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that helped me out tremendously. Now, this crowd here was not feeling the Kamala Harris commercial interrupting the Alabama football game. All right, they were not feeling it too tough at all. Yeah, they're not feeling Kamala. Have you seen any like regular normal person in the street that's a Kamala Harris fan, like outwardly? And I ain't talking about those that just wanting to vote for her. That's one thing. They might not know anything about politics. They're just going to vote because she black in their mind, although she's not black at all. Okay, Indian more than anything else, but that's a different story. And I digress. The point is, people don't know anything, so they'll vote for her out of ignorance. But you got some that are like super fans and they know her policies front to back. They really like this woman. But how often do you see such a thing in the streets? That's not really a thing. People are they are kind of being cornered and bullied into voting for Kamala more than anything else. It's not a bunch of fans out there. All right. So, yeah, shout out to all the football fans out there. Now, for a little bit of cringe, this is the governor of Massachusetts. Shout out to all the Boston people, all the Worcester, Mass, all of y'all. Shout out to everybody out there. All right, we got music going on, so let's not get a claim. Now, what I want to know is the purpose of doing all this extra stuff. Like, why are we dancing? Like, what are we celebrating? Are we celebrating all the migrants living at Boston Logan Airport? Are we celebrating the criminal element you guys are bringing into the nation by being a sanctuary city and state? Is that what we're doing? I don't really understand what's going on. You guys are part of the problem that this nation is facing when it comes to the migrant crisis, because they may come through Boston, but then they go to Springfield, Ohio. They go to, Charleroi, Pennsylvania. They go all over this country from your particular neck of the woods. While all we do is TikTok dances, okay? TikTok dances while our nation's burning because of the policies that you guys support, all right? Talking about a distraction. Now, speaking about things that are brought into the country to tear us down and tear us apart from the border, from the illegal immigration, the so-called asylum seekers and whatnot. A lot of these 17-year-old hardened criminals that are gang members. Here we go. This is the kind of thing you got to deal with when you just out in the world, in the streets. And let's say you're working in food service, McDonald's, KFC, something like this. You got to deal with these guys coming in here acting the fool. Now look, see, this is what I'm talking about. I don't know what kind of drug does this, but I'm willing to go out on a limb here. I'm willing to just guess that whatever he's on probably came through the border illegally. Anybody want to just think that I'm right on that? And people, they don't understand the whole thing about drugs. I've been against drugs for a long time. And then sometimes when I make anti-drug videos, people get offended, you get downvotes, but I know how this whole thing goes, because what happens is when you allow drugs to infiltrate society, what you get is this kind of behavior all over the place. You're trying to walk, you're trying to work, you're trying to mind your business, and you get a bunch of these zombies running around acting the fool. It's not a victimless crime when the zombies infect society. Yeah, you know, you see stuff like Walking Dead, all that kind of stuff. That's the reality of a lot of these cities. Okay, that's the reality of it. And they might bite you and give you something. You might not turn into a dope fiend, but something might happen to you. That's real life happening right now. And the cause of the zombie outbreak is easy to identify, but you got the border wide open, so that's all coming across. They said they seized 66,000 pounds of fentanyl at the border in a year or something like that. Hold on, let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. 66,000 pounds fentanyl seized. All right. Oh, okay. Actually, wait a minute. Okay, I got something right here. California, just California now. Hold on. Okay, I found it. California sees this record 62,000 pounds of fentanyl just in California and just in 2023. Okay, so imagine how much is coming across the border. Okay, how much? That is a whole lot. So they found it in California and the state's ports of entry. So the little border they got down by Tijuana, all that much came through there, and maybe on the streets as well. That is killing our nation, all the cheap fentanyl. We're getting flooded with so much of it, it's making it cheap. And that's what's causing so many deaths, because it's easy to get your hands on. It doesn't take much. It's kind of just abundantly available. The border is open. Ain't nobody really cracking down on the drug crime. So we're getting people that are just dying off as a result. And before they die off, they're going to make your life difficult by coming into your store and acting the whole fool, throwing stuff on the walls. And don't let them be in the bathroom. Oh my goodness. They're going to create a little roach nest in the bathroom. It's going to be a mess. Okay, I'm getting a little bit too graphic. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Now, can we get to Puff before we get back to Kamala? Look, okay. I think that there is something on Puff Daddy or Diddy, Sean Combs, whatever you want to call him. I think that there's enough to get him locked up. I'm not saying he's an innocent man. You know, I make my video today. People talking about something, oh, you defending him. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. I'm not going to say you should just be able to charge somebody with anything or make them pay any kind of money when it doesn't really fit. I'm not a fan of just trying to kick a man while he's down. It's like he's already going to prison. So now you got guys trying to come in on the back end and get some money. People in Texas, look, here's my question. Puff is from New York and lived LA, Miami. So why is a Houston, Texas lawyer representing 120 people talking about some sexual assault allegations against Puff? And why are all the charges civil with no criminal charges? This same guy, Tony Busby, is behind the whole Deshaun Watson kerfuffle. Deshaun Watson, he is a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, right? NFL quarterback. he was accused by, I think, 20 or so women of some kind of sexual misconduct. And he was ordered to pay between $30 and $35 million in a settlement. Now, nobody charged him with anything criminal, though. And he's not an old guy, so you're still in the statute of limitations. So why not any criminal charges? Why would you pay $35 million total to 20 women who accuse you of wrongdoing, but you don't get locked up? Same thing going on here. You're accusing them of wrongdoing, but with no criminal activity. What makes this more believable is that he's getting locked up. But what he's getting locked up for is not these new allegations that are coming against him. It's what the feds found through their investigation. Who is this guy? And why did over 2,000 people contact him to try and sue Puff Daddy? They had to vet and get it down to 120. What does the vetting process consist of? And again, why are there no criminal charges? If he did all this stuff, then go ahead and go to court and get him locked up for it rather than just trying to get money. I don't really understand.
The biggest secret in the
Oh, and the craziest part, before we continue, the craziest part. Now, listen, y'all know I used to be a graphic designer, so I've designed stuff like this step and repeat. This is what ambulance chasers will order. Let me get the 800 number, big as possible. I mean, I've never in my life seen this. My man has a 1-800 number behind his head during the press conference talking about Puff Daddy and 120 sexual assault victims. Sir, you look like a whole ambulance chaser right now. Joins and Bieber, shout out Joins and Bieber. You look like that. Like you be on TV, Low the Hammer Stanley, 459 Cash. You looking like that right now, my man. So I'm not really believing this whole thing you got going on.
The biggest secret in the entertainment industry that really wasn't a secret at all has finally been revealed to the world. The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward. Our team has had at this point more than 3,285 individuals contact us.
Look, he said 3,285 individuals contacted him trying to be part of the lawsuit.
With people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases.
Now, I'm seeing the comment right here. Okay, Rebel Without a Reason says, I heard it being said that some of these people can't afford lawyers, so they're just bundling the cases so this guy can get justice for all of them. They always do that. Any kind of, like, that's the whole game. Okay, you get all the people together, make a big lawsuit, and he will represent everybody pro bono. The catch is he'll get a % of the winnings. That's how they always operate. Personal injury people, that's how they operate. They may, okay, I'll take your case, no money up front, but I'm going to need 33% on the back end. I don't know what his specific percentage is going to be, but it's going to be something. He ain't just doing this for no money. Oh, listen, the goal is to get a big check so he won't have to go to court. He can just pay a big check and settle because going to court is more expensive and more time consuming. So pay the check. He'll get his 33.333% and give the rest to everybody else. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. Okay.
And you should know, to the extent the clients feel comfortable, we also intend to make these individuals available to the authorities, specifically to the FBI. And you should also know a few of them have already been spoken to by the FBI. Now, before we discuss the nature of the claims and claimants themselves, let me comment on the large volume of calls we have received since our first announcement. Even before the indictment of Sean Combs.
Now, if the cases are not bundled, he's still representing all of them. So it's the same thing. So if it's one big check he's going to get or 120 checks, he's going to get a percentage of each check. It doesn't even really matter. That distinction is without difference.
We had received a small volume of calls and had screened a handful of cases. After the indictment of Sean Combs and the announcement that we were pursuing these claims, the floodgates opened. People who wouldn't otherwise, for a variety of reasons, are now stepping forward to make their voices heard.
I think what's going on, people see that there's opportunity to get some money and they're hopping on it. If you got 3,285 people that contacted them and they had to vet so many that 3,000 were just cast away to get down to the 120, how do you know that all the 120 are legitimate? And again, we're talking about sexual assault, drugging, drinks, and stuff like this. These are criminal activities. So why is it not a criminal court matter? Because money is most important. Now, listen, is it 40% to the law firm, Dreadnought? Thank you. 40% to the law firm. So there you go. I mean, that's the whole thing. Yeah, I'll take a case for free pro bono because I think I'll be able to get some money. And rather than trying to charge you up front, all that kind of stuff, I know you don't got no money no way, I'll get a piece of the back end. And they cool with it because without this guy, they probably wouldn't have got any money at all. That's the whole mentality that they have. That's the Ben Crump model. That he's an ambulance chaser of black victims. That's what he does. All right. Same kind of energy here. Now, some of you guys say that Busby's a good attorney. He represented Ken Paxton, the attorney general out there in Texas. And from what I hear, he did a good job with that. But this is a grift. It is what it is. Let me show you my man. Now, I think he might have just been in Virginia. That's what I think. If you're from Virginia, you know what I'm talking about right here. This is a classic for us. All right. If he was somewhere else, I'd be totally surprised. All right, hold on. Let me show you Lord of Hammer Stanley. Put it on the screen. There we go.
Accident victims. Getting money for injured people is a rare skill. Insurance companies often refuse to pay what is fair. The lawyer you pick must be able to make them pay. One way or another, I'm Lowell the Hammer Stanley. When you call me, you get 35 years experience battling the stingiest insurance companies for hundreds of millions of dollars. Just call me. Let's get your share. Lowell the Hammer Stanley, 459 cash!
Now, this is a more updated version. He back in the day, he was a lot more turned up than that. He's kind of getting older now. And that's actually not him. That's not Lowell the Hammer Stanley. That's an actor. Lowell the Hammer Stanley is a real person, but he's kind of a short, nerdy Jewish guy. Been around for a long time. Is a good lawyer for what I know, but that ain't him, though. That's an actor portraying him. But you see the big number, the 459 cash, 1-800-208 cash. That's what I just saw on the step and repeat from the dude. The big 1-800 number. It's the same thing. It's the same vibe. Why is he screaming? That's the whole thing. That's how he got his customers. That's how he got his customers. That was what he did back in the day. And everybody from Virginia, you say you remember. Now,
Permanently injured.
This was some of the older commercials. Like you got what's this? A forklift or a truck hitting the Corvette or something? What is this?
Permanently injured.
Like what is going on?
I'm Lowell the Hammer Stanley. Slow pay, no pay insurance companies know me well because I am the hammer. They are the nails. I've been hammering them for more money for victims for 30 years. More benefits, higher cash awards. I hammer them nearly every day, and I'll hammer for you if you'll just call me. 459 cash. 459 cash. Get what's yours. Call 459 cash. You call, I hammer.
So yeah. That was him. That's the same kind of vibe I got from the Puff lawyer from Tony Busby. Look, the same 800 number, all of that. All they gotta do is give me a WWF style promo from the early 1990s, late 80s, and then it'll bring it all home. It'll be memories, just like I remember when I was a kid watching them Lowell the Hammer Stanley commercials. Same thing. You kind of like that. See, it works. It works very well. But shout out to you guys. Let's keep on moving here with a little bit more cringe. Now, this is from the border stop. I've not seen this one. I showed some of this with the Crocodile Dundee outfit and the transmitter earring, allegedly. Let's watch some of this, because I didn't see all of it last time.
I have prosecuted transnational criminal organizations who traffic in guns, drugs, and human beings.
Kamala, we need a few more lines in the repertoire. I need you to look. I don't know if I hear I've prosecuted transnational gangs. I grew up in middle class, or if I hear that one more time, I promise it's going to be all over with. That right there will make me crash out. If I have to hear that again, I crash out.
I have prosecuted transnational criminal organizations who traffic in guns, drugs, and human beings. My team and I broke up a heroin trafficking ring in the Bay Area with ties to Mexican cartels. We took down a gang working with the Sinaloa cartel to traffic methamphetamine into the United States. We seized millions of dollars worth of cocaine from the Guadalajara cartel and broke up a drug trafficking operation, including pill mills and so-called recovery centers that were pushing opioids with deadly results.
I noticed something else. Well, I said it before, but I noticed it again. She can't read. She can't read. That's going to be really bad. If you're a president that can't read, or you struggle with your literacy, being the president isn't for you, okay? Go get a tutor, tighten that up. But being the president and you can't read, that's going to be a bad combination.
As Attorney General of California, it was 10 years ago that I brought a bipartisan group of American attorneys general and led that group to travel to Mexico City to meet with Mexican attorneys general to address this issue, and in particular, to increase intelligence sharing on gang activity, all of which allowed us to prosecute more human traffickers. And I started, as Attorney General, the first comprehensive report in the state of California.
All right, that's enough of that. That's quite enough, but you get the idea of what's going on. And I got a question. What's up with these backgrounds? With just the flag and that's it? I've seen that quite a bit, not just at the border, but also I saw it with Tampon Tammy did one of these in front of the flag. Now, my question would be, is she even at the border? Was this pre-recorded before she went to the border? Maybe she went down to the border and then they had her in the White House little, the White House studio across the street from the real White House. They made it look like it was on the border, filmed this and threw it out there like, hey, okay, go ahead and take that. She might have gone to the border, but where was this filmed? I don't really know. But she needs to not try to be the president. She's really bad. All right. Now, when was this? This was actually 2019. This is 2019 when she ran the first time for the 2020 presidency, when she got stomped all the way into wine by Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg, all these guys. But she got curb stomped by them. So again, this is 2019. This is not a recent clip. Just so can't nobody say I posted misinformation. Now, listen to what she says specifically and listen to what she does not say. I ain't going to tell you, but you guys are going to check it out. Watch.
I have also started to perhaps be more candid, talking about what I describe and what I believe to be the elephant in the room about my campaign.
What is that?
Electability.
What do you mean?
Electability. You know, essentially, is America ready for a woman and a woman of color to be president of the United States?
America was ready for a black man to be president of the United States.
And this conversation happened for him. There is a lack of ability or a difficulty in imagining that someone who we have never seen can do a job that has been done, 45 times by someone who is not that person.
Again, this is from 2019, November 2019, when she ran the first time for president and did not succeed. Now, what did she say? Woman of color. Did she say black? Would she say woman of color now when referring to herself in the race, or would she say black woman? Haven't we been saying that she is not identified as black up until recently? It was always Indian or something else. It wasn't black. Now, all of a sudden, she identifies as black because it's politically advantageous. Just being a woman of color, that ain't really, we got to tamp it down. You got to embrace your blackness. That's what's going on right here. They think she can channel some of that Barack Obama 2008 energy, but that was 16 years ago. Those days are over with. We saw what Barack Obama did, talking about, I don't want LGBT stuff to be going on, but he went ahead with the gay marriage. We know what Barack Obama did. So this lady has zero of the Obama charisma and nothing policy-wise that is different or better than what he did. So why would anybody vote for her? For what reason? What's the point? Because you're black? Well, back then you said you're a woman of color, so which one is it?
I'll give you a story. I want to just give you a quick story to make this point. I was here in Iowa campaigning for Barack Obama.
I was here.
Right? Okay, so you remember. It was the night before the caucuses, and I was like, tell me what else needs to be done. And they said, Kamala, there's this senior African-American home, residential home, nobody's gone to yet. Can you go there? And I said, of course. The lady who answers, there's a chain on the door that she keeps on. She wasn't expecting anybody. So I'm all exuberant. I'm Kamala Harris. I'm here for the caucuses tomorrow. Barack Obama is on the ballot. Will you come to the caucuses? And she looks at me without any expression, and she says, they're not going to let him win. And I looked at her, and all that in her 85 plus years, all that she has experienced and witnessed in terms of injustice.
All right, that's quite enough. I don't want to see that face no more. Again, that was 2019. I don't want to see that face in 2024, 2025, or here on out. No more. Let's leave Kamala as a mistake in the past, just like Cory Booker. Cory Booker was crazy. Remember, they tried to push him as the next Obama. They were trying to push Cory Booker and Kamala at the same time. Maybe they thought, okay, one of these biracial, light-skinned, kind of black passing people might succeed. Let's get some of that Obama light-skinned biracial energy and make that work. That's not me saying that. That's them. I don't really care what color you are personally. If you can get the job done, let's go ahead and get it rocking. If you can't, then you got to go over there. It is what it is. I don't care nothing about nothing. If the people that can do the job happen to look one way all the time, or the majority of the time, then so be it. If they look differently, then so be it. I don't really care. Let's get the best person for the job. But they think like that. That's why they're trying to push Cory Booker. And this guy was probably gay, and they had to give him a fake girlfriend. But to be clear, they kind of did that with Tim Scott a little bit too. Although I don't know if Tim Scott is LGBT. But anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Politics is really funny. It's really weird what they do to try and appeal to people. It's really strange. Now, let's go forward. Let's go to current day. Okay, current day. Kamala did an interview with the guys from quote unquote All the Smoke. All the smoke. What does that mean? Gen Z talk. I want all the problems. I don't want peace. I want problems always. Shout out to that guy right there. Oh, now I got to find that clip. But yeah, I want problems always. These guys, former NBA players, pardon me, Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. Now, Steven Jackson was involved in Malice at the Palace. Remember where you had guys fighting at the Pacers-Pistons game many years ago? He was involved with that. He was in the stands fighting fans. He was known to kind of get into into the mix. Steven Jackson. Matt Barnes grew up fighting, biracial kid, got to prove himself to the whites and the blacks. So you don't fit any place. He grew up fighting, fought a lot in the NBA. So these are tough guys, right? But when it comes to Kamala, they soft as soft can be. So, like, what's really going on? Hold on. This is what I was looking for. Here's the meme. They want all the smoke, so they like this guy right here. Now, this guy is my uncle. Okay, and my cousin.
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
That's pretty much how they act, right? I want problems always. I don't want peace.
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
So you say that's how you are, right? You don't want peace. You want problems always. You want all the smoke. But then when it comes to Kamala Harris, you soft and fold like a sheet of paper. Now, also a little bit of something about Stephen Jackson. Stephen Jackson grew up with George Floyd. He knew him from Texas as a kid. Okay, that's them right there in the picture above. Okay, so that's obviously on the left in the suit, Stephen Jackson, former NBA player, and that's George Floyd. He knew George Floyd. He grew up with him in Texas. Okay, so that is a little bit of context there. Mortal Wombat is crazy. Yeah, but check this out.
Today, I do believe there is no significant progress that we've made in our country without the people often taking to the streets. Mm-hmm. Going way back to the Civil Rights Act, to the Voting Rights Act, to, what's happening now in the streets on choice, to what happened around George Floyd's murder, and moving forward an agenda that's about that.
So when you hear her mention George Floyd's quote unquote murder and his childhood friend is right there looking at her, that's why she did that. That's probably why she took this interview with these former NBA players, is because of that connection right there. Okay, you can get a lot of you can pretty much be on the same page, and you get in a softball interview at best from these guys who quote unquote want all the smoke, but not with this lady that's sitting right in front of them.
Moving forward an agenda that's about that. You could just go through just the different levels of progress that we've had. Often it has taken people taking to the streets today.
So there's more from that particular interview. In the interview, even though it was a friendly interview, it was pretty much a dumpster fire. All right. So, and something I'm noticing, I think Kamala has had work done. Wait. Hold on. Let's pause. I think she's had work done. I'm looking at her lips and it look a little different. I ain't trying to be weird. I'm just saying. Hold on. Because let's compare. Yeah, I'm seeing some work. Okay. Shout out to Nancy Pelosi. All right. So look. Let's take a look, shall we? And I'm not trying to be a creep. I'm not trying to be weird, but look at her face. Look at her face. Now, this again is 2019. Okay.
I have also started to for him right before the caucus.
Okay, can we get her face in the shot? Okay, there's her face.
All exuberant. I'm Kamala Harris.
Now you see kind of how she looks right here, right? Hold on. You see how her face looks right there. Let's keep that still frame in mind, shall we? Now let's go over. You see something different? Her lips look different. Her lips look more voluminous. She might have had some filler put in her lips. Now, a black woman putting filler in her lips is crazy. That's crazy. Like, what in the world? How you so black, but you got to get race-affirming procedures? Like, what is really going on? What is really happening here, Kamala? Kamala, for real? All right. I think I'm onto something. Maybe I'm doing too much. Let me just get back to the regular size viewer and keep on going. But yeah, something ain't right. It's a tad bit fishy. But let's continue.
Don't hear that. I eat no for breakfast. That's my saying.
Well, I think too,
I eat no for breakfast.
I eat no for breakfast. All righty. So I wonder how that tastes.
Like, don't hear that. I eat no for breakfast.
So you guys are saying cheeks and all that kind of stuff too. Yeah, it's weird. These people are weird. And they're trying to be like Hollywood actors. It's like, I need you just to be a president. I need you to be a leader. I don't care about your face and all that kind of stuff. Okay. You could be orange. That's fine. You could be the color orange like Donald Trump with that crazy hair. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care about your physical appearance. but you do, and then that lets me know that you have other motives. You're not really worried about being a leader. You're trying to be on television. You're trying to be famous. You're trying to be something else other than our leader. Your personal advancement is more important than serving the country. So maybe I don't want you to serve the country if other things, in my opinion, take more precedent. That's what I'm saying. Now, somebody in the chat is going to talk about Melania or something like this. Now, since when was Melania trying to be the president? And if she was, I would still vote for her over Kamala. Plus, Melania is a former fashion model. That's what she did for a living. What did Kamala Harris do for a living? I'm not gonna go too deep into that question. But anyway, let's keep on going.
Going from a show to a whole entire company, what is your economic plan moving forward for people who are living paycheck to paycheck and struggling for groceries and rent and homeowners?
So look, I grew up, so my sister and I were raised by our mother. We lived for a long time in an apartment on top of a child care center.
Okay, so what's your plan for Americans that are having a hard time being able to pay rent, pay for food, pay for the mortgage, pay for car notes, everything else? Well, I grew up, all right, but what's that got to do with me though? How is that going to help me? How is your origin story going to help me be able to put food in the fridge? Like, let's get down to meat and potatoes.
That child care center was actually owned by a woman who lived 2 doors down from us, Mrs. Shelton, who was, by all of our accounts and feelings, our second mother. She helped raise us. And
so maybe that's where she gets some of the, maybe that's why she thinks she's black, is because of the nanny or whatever. Maybe that's why she gets the whole I'm black from, although she's not. I can understand that. But still, that's like Rachel Dolezal type energy. You still are who you are, and it is what it is. And again, to me, the whole race thing doesn't matter, but when you make it part of your campaign, it does matter, because now it's a thing that has to get fact checked.
And so she was a small business owner. So I'll start with the small business, and congratulations on what you guys have done. I, from a child, knew who our small business owners are, right? I mean, you're business leaders, but you're also civic leaders. You take seriously your voice and how you can mentor, how you can grow, right? Communities and the sense of communities. I love our small businesses. And so a lot of my work in terms of building and growing the economy has focused on small businesses. And my vision overall is we need to build an opportunity economy in which we increase opportunity for all, including small business owners. So a lot of my work, even in the Senate, was about increasing access to capital through our small businesses, and in particular through our community banks. Mm-hmm. So I've been responsible for billions of dollars more now going into our community banks, because they're in the community.
Okay, that's quite enough of that. But yeah, she's talking about community banking and stuff like this. Okay, so what's your plan though? Like, there's not really a plan there. It's a bunch of word salad. That's what they do. They just start talking, and they think they say things that people like, but ultimately it's not really a lot. It's not really a whole lot. Now, hold on. Somebody said something about a FEMA statement. Yeah, I got something. Now, hold on. This is the same thing they did during Maui. Remember the whole Maui, Lahaina town, the fire? That was just last year, 2023, under the Biden-Harris administration. Here we go again. Another disaster under the Biden-Harris administration. Hurricane Helene hitting far east, northeast Tennessee, past the, like, right once you get to, we talk about the mountains in Tennessee, once you get to like Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, that's like right at the beginning of the mountains on the west side of them, of the Appalachian mountain range. Now, once you go further east, you're deep in the mountains, and it's very hilly terrain, a lot of up and down and stuff like that. It's like West Virginia. It's the same kind of deal. I know driving in the mountains is very treacherous. Like, I don't even go in the mountains when it's any kind of weather event, especially snow. Forget about it. You're going to be off the mountain if you try to drive in the snow, if you don't really know what you're doing. If you don't got a reliable vehicle, it might be a wrap for you. And then sometimes you might get a boulder on the road. I've seen some crazy weather patterns in the mountains, but this is something that's unprecedented. But look at what she says as far as what the response is going to be.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750
for folks who need immediate needs being met. And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate.
I mean, look, I don't gotta say nothing. You you heard what she said. Hey, you need help, you've been affected. $750 big ones. But hey, if I'm a migrant, I'm able to get these magic money cards where it don't run out. Why can't I get that if I have lost my entire town due to a natural disaster as an American citizen? Like, what's really going on? Hold on. Let me see if I can find a clip or a news article for that. And you gotta apply for it. That's crazy. That's totally nuts. All right. But yeah. Yep, that was 100% real clip. That's all you're going to get. You've been affected. You need immediate help. Hey, it is what it is. Same as Hawaii. Exactly. Same thing as Hawaii. So look, you were caught in the fire in Hawaii, lost everything. Maybe you lost family members, friends. $750. You lost your entire town, Castle Rock, up there in the mountains, North Carolina. Here you go, $700. Go ahead and take that. You are a migrant here illegally, taking jobs and tax money and resources from people that live here already. Thousands of dollars a month, magic money, food stamps, all of that. Don't need a license to drive your car. Don't need insurance. Just do whatever you want to do. It's fine. You can steal people's pets and eat them, allegedly, and it's cool. It's cool. Now, here she is.
Thank you.
In San Fran at the FEMA headquarters. This was posted on Monday. Now, she spoke for about 5 minutes, and at the very end, she just left.
Thank you.
Like this. No questions. So this person is not Kamala. I don't know, man. Not a good leader. The people who think Kamala would be a good leader don't recognize what good leaders do and how they operate. Now, of course, Trump went down to Valdosta and he spoke. Now let me show you the difference between Trump, Kamala, and Creepy Sleepy. So here's Trump down in Valdosta near a building that had been destroyed by the storm.
Thank you so much, and I'm going to sign that.
Oh, that's very good. I would. Thank you, fellas.
Now, if y'all don't know, Valdosta is a city in Georgia, all the way down south, near the Georgia-Florida line, not far from Tallahassee, which is the capital of Florida.
How are you? God bless you. We are praying for you. Thank you. Absolutely. We love you.
So that's Trump down there in Valdosta. All right. Here we got Creepy Joe on the beach chilling. All right. Like, Joe is pretty much at this point clocked out. It's like, yo, man, I'm done, man. Whoever get the next shift, y'all take it. Y'all take it from here. I'm good. I'm out of here. I'm eating hamburgers and hot dogs on the beach. Like, what are we doing? All right. And then this is what they released from Kamala. Just a picture, and there was a caption on her page. That was the initial response. This was posted at the same time Trump was actually down on the ground. And then the question is, where's Biden? Biden, can he not do anything? They had him do a little statement in the White House, the little fake White House, for a little while, 10 minutes, and then that was it. Kamala's kind of, she has to get coaxed to go down there. I'll find some time at the end of the week. I'll go by Thursday, Friday. I'll make it down there. Trump goes right away. Right, yeah, blank papers. Yeah, you know what? This kind of reminds me of the Obama photo shoot. Remember the Obama photo shoot where he was looking at papers on his desk and it was empty papers? Hold on. I'm a Google this Obama desk photo shoot. Let me see if if I can find it here. Hold on. I'm probably not going to be able to find it. But it was a very similar thing. Yeah, no, I ain't going to be able to find it. I know exactly what I'm looking for, but I don't think I have the right picture. They probably don't want me to see that anyway. But anyway, yeah, I saw some of that. Now, so I'm talking about the lithium. I don't think that's really what's going on. I don't think that's really a thing that's happening. Like they try to like damage it on purpose because of the lithium. All right, so here's Trump talking about linking up with Elon to bring Starlink, to get Starlink set up for families hit by the hurricane. Now, if you guys don't know Starlink, you can access Starlink, Elon Musk's, what's that, a satellite or a series of satellites? You can access it with your own device that you can get from Amazon or somewhere else, and you can have internet, all of that come straight to you. You don't have to have a provider. I'm not sure about the reliability of it, but you can use that. If you got an emergency, something like that, it'll most certainly come in handy.
Homes, hospitals, highways, and cars have been plunged underwater. Entire neighborhoods have been turned into lakes. Nobody's seen anything like it, and to every family that's been displaced here in Georgia and North Carolina, which has really been hit. We were going there also, and they don't have communication. They don't have anything right now. We're trying to. I just spoke to Elon. I'm getting him. We want to get Starlink hooked up because they have no communication whatsoever. And Elon will always come through. We know that. And so we're working on that, getting them hooked up. They asked me whether or not that would be possible. We're going to try and get the Starlink in there as soon as possible because they have no communication. And throughout the region, our hearts are with you, and we are going to be with you as long as you need. It's called an hour of need. You're in our prayers, and we pray to God. And throughout the long weeks that lay ahead, you're going to have a lot of work, but the end result is it's going to be good. We just wish so many people weren't so badly hurt, and in many cases, sadly, no longer with us.
So yeah, shout out to Trump, and that's also in the background, Franklin Graham, if you don't know, right over there. Shout out to, I didn't know he was still around, still kicking, still doing this thing. But yeah, shout out Franklin Graham. Shout out to everybody out there in South Georgia, Northeast Tennessee, Western North Carolina, mountainous Appalachian area. Shout out to the whole Appalachia. This storm really affected Appalachia and the surrounding areas, but definitely in the Appalachian region. My neck of the woods is most certainly affected. Like out here where I live, it's a lot of church drop-off points. People are going up in the mountains and they are delivering items. I'm gonna go down there, give a few items away. I know, but I already know Costco and all them places are jam-packed because I was seeing the traffic. I already know people are buying things. People are sending it. People are trying to go up there to the mountains, to the people, and help. There's one thing about Tennessee to say it's a volunteer state, right? People will volunteer to help. You inside of the road, messed up, broke down, people will help you. You know, it's a good place to live, good place to be, and Americans really care for each other here. So shout out to everybody that's helping everyone impacted by the storm out there in North Carolina. Now here's some of the footage. This is, in my opinion, like I said before, it's worse than Hurricane Katrina because in Katrina, what happened was the levee system broke and certain neighborhoods flooded. Now, some say it was demolished, it was destroyed. However it broke after the storm had passed. So it was kind of, people didn't expect it. If the levees didn't break, then the damage wouldn't have happened, at least not to that extent. But even after the storm, you still had infrastructure. It wasn't entire interstates washed out. That kind of thing wasn't really going on. It was just flooding in one part of the city. What's happening right here is that Asheville, North Carolina, and a lot of the surrounding areas, you kind of in a small, maybe like a riverbed or a valley in the mountain. So if you have high ground on the mountain, for the most part, you'd be okay from the flooding. You might get some wind damage potentially, depending upon, what's going on with your geography. But in the lower areas, riverbeds, creeks, anything like that, the water just came down to lowest point, filled up, and it became a rapid because of the elevation, because of just how narrow the channels were. So you had raging rivers in the center of town where there was not such a thing before. Okay, it's really, really bad. Whole cities, whole little towns, not cities, whole little towns washed away, gone. The whole commercial sector, everything, houses floating. And the thing about this area, it's mountainous, so it's more spread out. It's not like everybody's in one location. Asheville, of course, you got people right there, but some of the smaller little villages, smaller little towns that you really wouldn't see that are not tourist places, like small towns where they get their water and power turned on last. Let's say it's a storm that goes through, right? They're going to get the big areas first because of the hospitals and things of this nature. They got to get that back on, okay? But if you're living up in the mountains, you're kind of far away, your town might have 1,000 people like my hometown does in the mountains in Appalachia. They get to you last because you're not as important as the big city of 45,000, which is not a big city, but to us it is in Appalachia. So that's kind of what's going on. All right, and that's part of the reason why I say it's worse than Katrina, because it's more damage, it's different damage, it's geographical damage. You're talking about certain parts of this area that have been totally reformed. The weather has now changed the topography of the area. You got hill slips, mudslides, all of that, knocking down pieces of the mountain, pieces of hills, washing out natural roadways to the point where you can't even really build nothing right there because there's no ground to put it on. So you got to go a whole different way now. They're talking about it could be months, if not years, to fix everything. Years. So it's pretty rough. Now, here's some more of the video. You can see trucks like 18-wheelers, the actual cargo area, the trailer, just floating down the street, which is now a river. U-Haul truck stuck in the middle of it. And they said that there was no real time to react because once it stopped raining again, because it rained before this, like a day or two before, there was a lot of rain. You had elevated water levels and saturated ground. Then the hurricane came right behind it and it flooded. Within 2 hours, you had rain. And then what you see right here on the screen, you open your door and you got a whole river outside. If you're lucky enough to not be flooded all the way to the first story, second story, or whatever. Yeah, so you can see the water right there. And once you're in that water and it's just taking you, you really can't do nothing to fight it. Because if it could just move an 18-wheeler like it's a toy, how are you going to fight against that, really? Maybe if you're an amazing swimmer or something like this, and then the contents of the flood water are going to be abhorrent. Abhorrent. Of course, all your sewer lines is going to be backed up in there. Anything, any kind of debris from the stores, from the street, from everywhere, construction materials, nails, 2x, all of that going to be in there. All kind of animals, all kind of everything, insects going to be in that water. So it's just a whole big mess. Yeah, debris, all of that. Yeah, like look at this right here. You got a U-Haul store with the U-Hauls just like a kid playing with toys in the tub, and you can kind of see you got the hills and whatnot around. So the high area, if you're up here on this hill, you pretty much good. Downhill right here in this little area where it kind of is like a bowl effect, you're toast. You're toast. And that's what's going on out there in Nashville. All right. So now people talking about, well, I mean, weather modification, I don't know about that. I think that hurricanes happen. I don't want it to be a thing where people say, oh, well, it was something that, you know, they they played with the weather. I mean, maybe that happens. Cloud seeding and stuff like that does happen, especially in a lot of these desert areas or areas that are becoming desertified, if that's a word, where you have accelerated desertification. Maybe they're trying to do cloud seeding to make it rain, but a hurricane making it hit one area specifically, I don't really know. And really, actually, when you see the path of the hurricane, it hit me. It hit like right where I am. The center of the hurricane hit right where I am. But the outer bands and some of the remnants hit the mountains. And the outer bands sometimes can be dangerous because of the flood risk. When you talk about a hurricane, the most dangerous part of the hurricane is near the center, not in the center. That's the eye of the storm. The eye of the storm is nothing going on. Because you got you have the center of the storm, and then around it, you got the higher pressure. And as you get further out, the pressure decreases. But in the area of the higher pressure is the most damage. So if you're in the eye of the storm, and sorry for that demonstration, if you're in the eye of the storm, you're good. But right around the eye of the storm, you're going to have a lot of wind, high rain, all of that is going on. But the outer bands can be dangerous because of the rain, mostly. And when you get all that rain that happens in this area where it's flood prone and it was just raining, it's a mess. All right, so then they got a shot of the actual road that washed out. Look at this.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Here's where the fucking road goes. We're transporting all the pets, all of our shit. This is basically what's stopping us from getting out of here.
So, yeah, that's what's going on out there. But people always, Jeff RN, people always put towns on rivers because, especially in the mountains, it's a lot of, in the mountainous area, the towns are on the river usually because that's an area of flat land. That's how Rand is. That's how West Virginia is. That's how Charleston is. It's the Canal River's right there, and then right next to it on the banks is the town. Because where else are you going to put the town in the mountains if not by a flat area like the riverbed right above it? Hopefully you don't get a big rainstorm and it flood and the river overflows. Even in Chattanooga, it's like that too. They got the Tennessee River and Chattanooga's right there. But they got it to where the town is built up enough above where there could be a flood so you won't have any real damage happens to you from the river overtaking you. Yeah, they got it pretty much down to a science, but sometimes there's not much you can do. It is what it is. All right, let's keep on going. Now, Costco, they got
never seen a line
kind of flooded in there. Not flooded literally, but a lot of people in there because probably two reasons. The first reason is you got the Longshoreman strike. People are afraid they're not going to have supplies, paper products. Oh, every time they think it's going to be a shutdown or something, they go immediately for the toilet paper. That's the number one thing to go. Toilet paper. I'm like, hey, what are y'all doing with the toilet paper? Are you eating the toilet paper? What's going on? It was the same thing during, remember the riots in Baltimore? What was that, Freddie Gray? And one thing that I noticed from watching and covering that particular riot was people were looting the stores and stealing toilet paper. I'm like, do they not have that in Baltimore? Is that a scarce resource? Do you not wipe your hind parts with toilet paper? Like, what's going on in Baltimore? That was the thing. But when you see these kind of instances, my man right here has 2 things of paper towels. Like, he gonna need that much paper towels, bro. Like, if you don't have paper towels, you could use a towel, a regular hand towel, and just wash it. You don't have to have that. Now, for the toilet, I understand toilet paper, but paper towels, bro.
This long at Costco. It's
look, long line, the line all the way down this way.
Freaking massive. Something's going on. Let me look at it, and it even snakes all the way from over there, back there, around here.
And see, look, everybody got the same thing. Charmin, toilet, Kirkland tissue. Look, everybody got the same kind of thing going on. What is that? I'm seeing trash bags, water, all of that going on. Like bottles of water.
In case there's any good samples. That's nuts.
So yeah, that's what's going on. Now, I'll tell you, if you guys are trying to hoard for the dock worker strike, you might as well stay at the house, to be totally honest, because if there's really a shortage of stuff, you're gonna need more. Paper towel said, okay, paper towel, toilet paper essential, no electricity, water's unsafe to use. Well, paper towels, I mean, if you don't have electricity, how are we cooking? Like, how are we doing anything? You can wash a hand towel by hand. You know, you can always wash things. And if you don't have water, if you don't have any water at all, that's going to be the bigger problem. That's going to be the much bigger problem. All right, now, hold on. Tampon Tim, we're going to get to the actual debate thing here in a minute. But Tampon Tim, they were asking him about what's happening. Hold on. Let me put this back up.
Well, now to that strike threat.
Let's watch the strike threat first. Then we're going to get to Tampon Tim because of what he said during the debate. All right. Dock workers, then Tampon Tim.
That could impact busy ports up and down the East Coast. Today, New York's Romney Smith's in Newark, now one of the locations that could see picket lines come this time tomorrow. Romney.
That's right. The clock is ticking right now, darling, because that strike could go into effect at midnight tonight if an agreement isn't reached today. But let me give you some numbers to chew on. One, this union has about 85,000 members throughout the country. It would impact more than a dozen states if the strike happens. And if the strike happens, it will cost upwards of $500 million a day. Now, we know the impact is far-reaching if this strike goes into effect, and it will hit major retailers like Home Depot, IKEA, and Walmart. Items from electronics to canned goods, all on massive cargo ships that we know go in and out every single day. And there's already talk about the potential strike's impact to the winter holiday season, since every day of a strike would take between 3 to 5 days to get back to normal. Now, the International Longshoreman Association union members say they want more money for the work that they provide, and they also want job protection from automated technology. This would be a 6-year contract that they're trying to negotiate right now.
Now, listen, from what I read and from what I heard in the news report, they are trying to negotiate for a 77% increase in pay, and they want automation protection or protection from automation, because on the left coast, California, they got automated docks already. And maybe even on the East Coast, they got some automation happening. It's going to get to the point where the longshoremen are no longer needed. They could just automate everything, or you may just need fewer of them. So if at the same time you want to get paid more, how can you try to protect against automation? Because obviously what's going to happen is if you become too expensive, they'll go to the automation if automation is cheaper.
President Biden could step in and stop the entire situation, but at this time, he has declined.
Why not?
Because it's collective bargaining. I'll shut them down throughout the world to prove that we can beat them.
Union reps say this is all happening because, quote, the United States Maritime Alliance refuses to address a half-century of wage subjugation where ocean carrier profits skyrocketed from millions to mega billion dollars, while ILA longshore wages remained flat. Now, coming back out to you live, I can tell you there are no scheduled meetings today for any negotiations, but that doesn't necessarily mean the strike will happen, because it's still possible both sides could come to the table and reach some kind of agreement to move forward. We will be watching all day today to see if that happens. But if
so, what do y'all think? Do you think that is going to be an agreement? Do you think that the longshoremen are going to get their pay increase or not? Now, one thing about this whole situation, for you guys that don't know about ports and whatnot, the longshoremen, essentially, I know there's more to it, they essentially load and offload the ships. The big ships that come across from overseas with all the containers on it. And the truckers need this to be working because they're the ones transporting the cargo containers from the docks throughout the entire country. That's their job. So you got the longshoremen, short shoremen, merchant marines. Merchant marines are the guys that travel with the cargo. These guys go overseas on the actual boat. And these jobs are very coveted because they're high paid and it's a low barrier to entry. When I was a kid in Virginia, you got the port right. You got NOB right there. You got Portsmouth. Like you got whole neighborhoods where it's dedicated to basically being working on the shipyard. In Portsmouth, you got the neighborhood is right there. All them houses, the guys probably worked at the shipyard that's like right across the street. That's kind of how it is in Virginia. You got kids that were like in middle school talking about they wanted to be a longshoreman because they know low barrier to entry. People make money doing that. You can have gone to prison and do it. You get you a TWIC card. You can go on the base. You could do all of that and get a lot of money. So they're trying to protect that. But I'm not really sure if it's going to actually work out because the automation, again, if it's cheaper than these guys, then they're going to go to the automation. And what may happen is they may relent. They may agree to a certain contract, but it may just be for short term. And there may not be any protection from these guys getting fired. So we're going to see what's going to happen. We shall see. But I don't think that you are going to see a severe supply shortage. It probably won't be like COVID or nothing like that. I don't really see that happening. That's just my humble opinion. Also, the stores, retail stores already saw this whole thing coming. So they're already prepared with extra inventory of goods. All right. That's kind of what's going on. Hold on. Harold says this is going to encourage automation to come in even faster. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Now I support the longshoremen, all these guys that work on the docks and the ports. I support these guys, but I mean, it is what it is. And I saw a comment. Somebody said, have I seen a Chattanooga moon pie company? Of course. I love moon pies. I like moon pies even when I didn't live here. I always would get moon pies, especially as a kid. Definitely a guilty pleasure. And I've been to the Chattanooga moon pie store downtown. They got a whole store. They got all kind of like memorabilia. I think they had a moon pie board game. They had all kind of stuff. And of course, you could go in there and get moon pies in bulk. Now, me being a big back, I got a box of moon pies, but it's fine. It was like 24 moon pies. It wasn't even that many. It's just enough to have, you know. But yeah, shout out to the moon pies. All right. And RIP to your diet if you want to do that and eat those at the same time. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Tampon Tim, making some gaffes. Let's start with the gaffes. Then we're going to get through the actual debate. All right. Let's check it out.
Senator, thank you. Governor, you previously opposed an assault weapons ban, but only later in your political career did you change your position. Why?
Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look, the NRA, I was an NRA guy for a long time. They used to teach gun safety. I'm of an age where my shotgun was in my car so I could pheasant hunt after football practice. So I've become friends with school shooters.
Now, of course, this was a mistake, but what was he trying to say? He became friends with school shooting victims. Like, he is not good on stage. He's not good on stage. Now, we're trying to get to the bottom of it. What did he mean? Now, he was asked what he meant right here at this particular shop. I don't know, is it some kind of bakery or something? But he's asked a question about that, and let's see what his reaction is, shall we?
What do you think your strongest moment was tonight?
Oh, just, I think it was a good debate. The public got to see a contrast. And I think the ending sums it up. The democracy issue is important.
Governor, you said you become friends with school shooters during the debate. Can you clarify what you meant on that?
Can you clarify what you meant when you said you befriended school shooters?
Bro, you just answered one question, and now they ask you another question. First, the first guy was kind of, maybe you didn't hear him. Maybe you just didn't. I heard him, so you probably should have heard him, but maybe I'll give you that one. And then the same person who just asked you a question, asked you that same question he just asked again, louder, and all you did was just stare at the pizza. My man, you can't just explain it. I explained it for you. All you had to say was, well, it was a mistake. I meant I've befriended some of the school shooting victims. That's it. That's all you got to say. Why you got to stare at the pizza all weird? Sir, like, what's going on? What is the problem, Tampon Tim? I don't understand you. They're giving you the chance to clear it up. It was a mistake. Hey, man, we all make mistakes. It was a slip of the tongue. We're humans. Why would you just be at the pizza on the window? The pizza does not have the answer, sir. The pizza cannot help you out of this bind that you're in. All right? It can't. It can't. Okay, now let's keep on going. There's more. Now, there's another thing he did about lying about being in Hong Kong during lying about being at Tiananmen Square in China.
Yeah, look, I have my dates wrong. I was in Hong Kong in China in 1989.
Hey, it's Feather Woman. I ain't see you in a minute, Feather Woman. Wearing a pair of shorts and a Dickies work shirt. This is embarrassing. A senator looking like this, looking like a whole janitor. It's ridiculous.
That move from Hong Kong into China, it was profound for me. That was the summer of democracy. I said it's where I understood how sacred democracy was. It's what encouraged me, about 15 back and forth with my students, taking them to China to understand both, first of all, the culture, but also to teach Chinese students about democracy. That was part of it. I was one of the first group of high school students. There weren't a lot of times that there were high school teachers in there that you could teach in a Chinese high school. And so you've seen me. These teachers see me. I speak like everybody else speaks. I need to be clear. I will tell you that. But here's my whole point on that thing with China. I do understand China.
So, I mean, a bunch of word salad for China and that whole situation. Really ridiculous. In the back, you have Feather Woman as a security guard, arms crossed, looking like he's about to go back to work. It's like, look, man, I'm about to go finish up this last oil change and tire rotation. Hey, I got one more oil change and tire rotation, and then I'm off the clock. I'm going to go straight to Joe's Crab Shack. I'm going to go straight to Outback Steakhouse, and I'm gonna be about 15 beers deep before I get back to the house and deal with these crazy kids. That's how he looks right now on his face. But he's in Pennsylvania, so you gotta have Feather Woman with you, right? I guess that's a good luck charm. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, I digress. Let's keep on going.
Do you want to clarify the comments that you made about school shooters?
Yeah, and look, you got to see me. These folks know me. I'm super passionate about this. The question come up about school shooting. We're talking about everything except school shootings. And I sat as a member of Congress with the Sandy Hook parents, and it was a profound movement. David Hogg is a good friend of mine. You have seen me do this. I was talking about being people where there are school shooters, and I need to be more specific.
You saying what now? Hold on.
David Hogg is a good friend of mine. You have seen me do this. I was talking about being people where there are school shooters, and
what? Being people where there are school shooters? Is that what he said? Being friends with people who are school shooting victims? Do you have your cognitive, is everything okay? Are you all right? Well, if I had to guess by this freeze frame, you might not be 100% okay. Something might be a little bit awry.
I need to be more specific on that, but I am passionate about this. This one, for my wife and I, is just, as teachers, as parents, is so personal.
Do you want to clarify?
What? I mean, I've seen not one, but two chances he had to just clarify what he meant. And did he do it? Again, I think what he meant was, I've befriended school shooting victims. Just say that. Just say I misspoke. But even in his explanation, he's avoiding the question and he's continuing to misspeak. This guy, I don't know. Really, really, really bad. Really, really bad. But hey, that is the VP pick for Miss Kamala Harris. Now, we got a few more things. We're going to get to the actual debate in a second. Let me go ahead and show you this last clip from Tampon Tim. All right.
Well, thank you all. New York City was a little crazy last night, so.
Now, what is this right here? What is all this? Are you sprinkling? It's like Salt Bae sprinkling the salt on the steak. Is that what that is? What is this little hand gesture? Hey, people could say you're picking at him, ABL. Isn't he the one that said that these guys are weird on the other side? They're just weird. Aren't they always weird? Weird. Well, what's this right here? What's this little gang sign activity you got going on? This typing emoji you got going on with your hands? That's weird. That right there, that motion is weird. Okay. So please remember that when you go to the ballot box in November, remember everything. Do you want to vote for these people that do stuff like this, that say things like this, that can't even answer simple questions? I mean, the whole thing with the school shooters, that was such an easy question to answer. He just couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. But hey, that's the guy that some people are cool with. They cool with him. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's get to the actual debate. Oh, and this was funny. This whole thing, JD Vance's face, the one of concern, but kind of like reaching out beyond the fourth wall, asking us, what do we think about what just happened? Or just looking at the screen like, really, are you believing that? He is able to communicate without speaking, therefore not interrupting Tampon Tim. Tampon Tim looked terrified. Deer in the headlights. I'm talking about right here. You're driving, cars on, beams blasting. The deer's like, what do I do? I don't know. I'm stuck because of lights. I see the lights. I can't go nowhere. That's how you look. Scared, timid, deer in the headlights. JD Vance poised, and funny as well. So that was a contrast to the whole debate right there. But of course, we got more.
Nora,
but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret,
hold on. I gotta show the real one because Margaret Brennan kept trying to fact check JD Vance. It was starting to be like the ABC situation. It was starting to be like that. Okay. Where it was basically 3-on-1. And JD Vance had to stop it. All right, here we go. Here's the fuller one. This is what I wanted.
Thank you, Governor. And just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important.
This right here was crazy. The way she tried to do that, oh man, I was so upset. So, and she did it 2 times in a row. And then somebody said it might have been the other lady. It might have been, what's her name, Nora O'Donnell that did that. But I saw Margaret Brennan. I think she did it twice. After there would be a question asked, and Tampon Tim would debate JD Vance on the situation, and then they would go to the next question. Before they would transition, the moderator would take an opportunity to give their 2 cents on the situation, talking about some, oh, well, they have legal status in Springfield and all this and that. And then didn't let them respond, was trying to not let them respond. Talking about, let's move to the next thing. That's that passive aggressive type of situation. I don't like that at all. First of all, the agreement from what JD Vance said, there shouldn't be any fact checking, but you're doing it anyway and acting like I'm the bad guy for responding. Let's watch it from the top to see exactly how the whole thing played out.
Thank you, Governor. And just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status.
Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn now to the economy. Thank you,
Margaret. The rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own leadership.
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those laws have been on the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The CBP One app has not been on the books since 1990.
And then cut his mic. You see how that works? See how that goes? But listen, and then at the end, and this little smile, this little, oh my goodness. Oh my man, listen. I'm talking about the rage I feel inside is crazy. But even at the end of him giving proper context, because it's important to understand, because look, normies don't understand the way this stuff works. They think, okay, you have legal status, then you're not doing anything wrong. You're doing everything by the book. Not quite. Well, let's get down to the bottom of what's really happening. They're being given legal status, and they should not be. This is the Biden-Harris administration just bypassing law, doing whatever they want to do. That's the point. And then she's like, well, thanks for playing in the process. Oh, my goodness. Blood boiling. She was really bad. Really, really bad. That's Margaret Brennan. Her colleague, Nora O'Donnell, is, a little bit older, a little bit more gristled. But she wasn't really that much better, in my opinion. She was just kind of an inactive bomb, but she could be activated whenever they needed to. But definitely Margaret Brennan was a mess. All right, let's keep on going here.
Governor, what about our CBS News polling, which does show that a majority of Americans, more than 50%, support mass deportations?
Look, we fix this issue with a bill that is necessary, but the issue on this is what happens when you don't want to solve it. You demonize it. And we saw this, and Senator Vance, and it surprises me on this, talking about and saying, I will create stories to bring attention to this. That vilified a large number of people who were here legally in the community of Springfield. The Republican governor said, it's not true, don't do it. There's consequences for this. There's consequences. We could come together. Senator Langford did it. We could come together and solve this if we didn't let Donald Trump continue to make it an issue. And the consequences in Springfield were the governor had to send state law enforcement to escort kindergartners to school. I believe Senator Vance wants to solve this, but by standing with Donald Trump and not working together to find a solution, it becomes a talking point. And when it becomes a talking point like this, we dehumanize and villainize other human beings.
So, look, the whole thing with Springfield, I guess you're trying to say the whole cats and the rats, bats and dogs, that's not even really the biggest problem. The biggest problem is these migrants that can't drive with no licenses, no car insurance, no nothing. It's go out there, drive, delete people, whatever. As I said before, and I showed it in my live stream, the migrant in Springfield, August 2023, it's the first day of school. This guy's driving, no license, can't drive, no insurance, no nothing. He's driving on the road and collides with the school bus. 8 o'clock in the morning, taking kids to school. Now, when he hits the bus turns over, the bus flips. 23 kids hurt, one dead, first day of school. August 2023, migrant does it. And that case happens over and over. Kids getting hit, old ladies getting hit, mailboxes, stuff like that, cosmetic damage, major damage, people dead. And they said that the accident rate tripled in Springfield since they brought in the migrants. So, of course, you're going to have your car insurance go up while they don't pay car insurance. You see how that works? And then they say, why don't like the migrants? It's about the government policy that allows them to do whatever they want to do. And they have no consequences, but we got to pay the consequences for their actions. And we still got to abide by the regular everyday laws. We still got to have driver's licenses and insurance and things like that. So we have to just play by the rules that they don't, and they impact us in a negative way. That's the problem that people don't really want to acknowledge, but it's a real thing. It's easy when you don't live there and when you don't have to deal with it. Remember the whole thing with Martha's Vineyard when some of the migrants got brought there a while back? Within 24 to 48 hours, they deported them to a military base. Can they do that in Springfield, Ohio, or not? And if migrants are so great, they're so vibrant, they're so everything else, then why can't they stay in a nice place like Martha's Vineyard? Why not? Why can't they be your neighbor? There's plenty of homes that are unoccupied because you got a lot of vacation spots, people that are trying to go there for the summer or whatever the case may be. There's plenty of that going on. Why not let them stay there? But that's okay, but not for us. Anyway, I'm getting triggered, so I digress. Let's check it out. Here was a funny moment where Tampon Tim agreed with JD Vance.
I didn't accuse Kamala Harris of inviting drug mules. I said that she enabled the Mexican drug cartels to operate freely in this country, and we know that they use children as drug mules, and it is a disgrace, and it has to stop.
Now, did you see the head nod of agreement from Tim?
Of inviting drug mules, I said that she enabled the Mexican drug cartels to operate freely in this country.
So he says that Kamala enabled the drug cartels to operate freely in this country, and Tim said, he gave the nod, like, yeah, that's about right.
Country, and
yeah, that's right. So if you agree, then what are we talking about? You should be on my side. Put on the MAGA hat, and do something else with your life rather than being over there with her. Now, the craziest thing, the craziest thing was Tiananmen Square. Oh my goodness, he lied about being there. Now listen. You can't just make that up. You can't get that wrong. If you're there during Tiananmen Square or not, because y'all know Tiananmen Square, that was an uprising against the government, a demonstration against the government, and the government of China responded by deleting allegedly thousands of people and/or just using lethal force in general against so-called protesters. That was Tiananmen Square. Now, Tim Walz says he was in China during that, but he was not. And his response is, well, I was around at the time, but I wasn't really there for that particular event. I was around DC close to January 6th, like 2 months before, but I was not there on January 6th. So I can't say that I was in DC for J6 when I was not. Okay, I'm in Manhattan and I've been to a pizza shop. Can I say I was there for 9/11? No, because I was not there on that day. We know historic events happen on specific days, specific times. Maybe it's a week-long event. Maybe it's just one day, whatever it is. There's a specific time frame. We got days for it. 9/11, October 7, J6. We got specific days and times, right? But he says, "Oh, I just didn't really know." All right, and I think even CNN, they were the ones that put the article out about him not being in Tiananmen Square. He was actually at home in the USA. So let's watch this. This is cringeworthy. This is cringeworthy because he's trying to explain himself, and it was just all over the place.
Governor Walz, you said you were in Hong Kong during the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring of 1989. But Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year. Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, well, and to the folks out there who didn't get at the top of this, look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska.
Bro, why must they always start with, I grew up, small town girl, middle class, small town Nebraska? What's that got to do with Tiananmen Square, though? Like, let's get all the way down to that. Like, I can hear your biography at any time. Let's just get to the actual point.
Town of 400, town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on, and I'm proud of that service. I joined the National Guard at 17, worked on family farms, and then I used the GI Bill.
I rode bikes so the streetlights came on, and I'm proud of that service. What does that mean? Do you know? I don't.
To become a teacher, passionate about it, a young teacher. My first year out, I got the opportunity in the summer of '89 to travel to China. 35 years ago, be able to do that. I came back home and then started a program to take young people there. We would take basketball teams, we would take baseball teams, we would take dancers, and we would go back and forth to China. The issue for that was to try and learn. Now look, my community knows who I am. They saw where I was at. Look, I will be the first to tell you, I have poured my heart into my community. I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times, but it's always been about that. Those same people elected me to Congress.
A knucklehead? Is that going to be the vice president? A knucklehead? And we're 1 minute into the actual answer, and we've not gotten an answer.
For 12 years. And in Congress, I was one of the most bipartisan people, working on things like farm bills that we got done, working on veterans benefits. And then the people of Minnesota were able to elect me to governor twice. So look, my commitment has been from the beginning to make sure that I'm there for the people, to make sure that I get this right. I will say more than anything, many times I will talk a lot, I will get caught up in the rhetoric, but being there, the impact it made, the difference it made in my life, I learned a lot about China. I hear the critiques of this. I would make the case that Donald Trump should have come on one of those trips.
Bro, okay, now we're bringing up Trump. And throughout the entire debate, Tampon Tim could not help but bring up Trump. Every single time, that's pretty much what he did, was bring up Donald Trump. All right, I got a little bit of freezing going on. I think we're good now.
Trips with us. I guarantee you he wouldn't be praising Xi Jinping about COVID. And I guarantee you he wouldn't start a trade war that he ends up losing. So this is about trying to understand the world. It's about trying to do the best you can for your community. And then it's putting yourself out there and letting your folks understand what it is.
2 minutes into the response and not a response yet. And I promise it's almost coming to a close with this particular non-answer.
My commitment, whether it be through teaching, which I was good at, or whether it was being a good soldier or was being a good member of Congress, those are the things that I think are the values that people care about.
Governor, just to follow up on that, the question was, can you explain the discrepancy?
All I said on this was I got there that summer and misspoke on this. So I will just, that's what I've said. So I was in Hong Kong and China during the democracy protests, went in. And from that, I learned a lot of what needed to be in governance.
I mean, that right there was the last part where he actually got to the answer. He still couldn't answer it. He still couldn't answer because it was still kind of unclear. It's like, okay, were you there or not? So I misspoke. Yeah, I was there in the summer, but not in the spring when the actual thing happened. Yeah, it was other protests going on, but not Tiananmen Square specifically. Like I say, I was in D.C. Listen, you had January 6th, 2021. Now, before J6, there was all kind of uprisings and protests and whatnot in D.C. Black House Autonomous Zone. You got Antifa, Black Lives Matter. They put Black Lives Matter right there on the street in front of the White House as an affront to Trump, which was really a provocation. They don't talk about that, but that's a different story, and I digress. The point is that all of that was going on in the months leading up to January 6th. So if I say I was there when some Antifa threw bricks through a window in downtown D.C., and it was October 2020, can I say I was there for January 6th? No, I can't. But he just did that with Tiananmen Square. Tiananmen Square happened in the spring of '89. He didn't arrive until the summer, until months later. What, Tiananmen Square, what was it, in May in '89? So you got June, July, August, bare minimum 2 months, probably 3 months later. Same thing with me. I was in D.C. October of 2020, November, December, January, same amount of distance, but I was not there for J6, and I can't say I was anywhere near D.C. on that day. This guy, I mean, really bad. Really, really, really bad. And this face right here will haunt your nightmares. That's not a look of a leader. That's not confidence. That is fear, anxiety, nervousness, all of that. That's not a face of confidence at all. I don't want to see somebody looking like they're about to, like it's like impending doom. I don't want to see impending doom. All right, let's keep on going.
And I think
now Tim Walz claims to be a gun owner, but hear this.
And I think what we end up doing is we start looking for a scapegoat. Sometimes it just is the guns. It's just the guns. And
so if it's just the guns and you're a gun owner, how does that really work? If it's just the guns, why do you have a gun? I don't really get it. But hey, that's what they do sometimes. Let's keep on going here. But overall, I think JD Vance really, really just took Tampon Tim behind the woodshed. Check this out.
Is President Trump committed to the $5,000 per child tax credit that you have described? You have 1 minute.
Well, what President Trump said, Margaret, I just want to defend my running mate here a little bit, is that we're going to be taking in a lot of money by penalizing companies for shipping jobs overseas and penalizing countries who employ slave laborers and then ship their products back into our country and undercut the wages of American workers. It's the heart of the Donald Trump economic plan. Cut taxes for American workers and American families. Cut taxes for businesses that are hiring and building companies in the United States of America, but penalize companies and countries that are shipping jobs overseas. That's the heart of the economic proposal. And I think what President Trump is saying is that when we bring in this additional revenue with higher economic growth, we're going to be able to provide paid family leave, child care options that are viable and workable for a lot of American families.
All right, so shout out to my main man, JD Vance, knocking it out the park. 40 years old right now. He'll be perfect. When Trump gets to the end of his second term in 2028, JD Vance will be 44 years old. He can begin his 2 terms at the end, 52 years old. Perfect. He can be in there with his wife, raise 2 kids. That could be America's next family. So that's going to be really good when he gets to that particular level. Oh, I got 2 things to show you guys right quick. Just 2 things. Okay, just real quick. The first thing is about FEMA. Second thing about the CCP and Tampon Tim. All right, let's watch this. So this is an article headline from July of this year, 24. FEMA program for migrants grows along with border crisis. From there's I can't say this right now. I'm tired. Over $300 million. There we go. To $650 million. Okay, so maybe in that growth from 360 to 650, maybe that growth right there could be the reason why, if you were affected by the actual hurricane up in the mountains, you get $700 for your trouble. $700. How much are the migrants getting right now? How much do they get from this? FEMA monies? From the government giving them straight up food stamps, magic money cards? How much money do they get from the government? But you're an American citizen and your entire town was washed away by a natural disaster. What do you get for your troubles? See, that's a problem right there. You have Americans versus migrants, and I don't think there should be a competition between the 2 groups. Now, here's something else. Okay, there's an investigation right now, launched August of this year. Comer launches probe into Governor Walz's extensive engagement with China and CCP entities. Okay, there's a question. Hey, you've been to China 30 times on official business. What were you doing there? What were you actually doing there? What's really going on? I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe they find something, maybe they don't, but I think there's something to actually look at. There's a probe happening right now. So shout out to them. Hopefully they find what we all know to be there. Now, here's something from Dr. Phil.
Did you hear anything tonight that really disturbed you from either candidate? Something you heard from them where you said, no, I wouldn't have said that, or I wouldn't have talked about it. Yes, sir. Stand up, say your first name.
I'm Dave. And the thing that concerned me the most was when they were talking about guns, and Walz just ended by saying, sometimes it's just the guns. That, I mean, my jaw hit the floor on that, because JD was trying to explain to us how mental health plays an issue, other things plays an issue. He wasn't pinpointing it, and Walz said, well, sometimes it's just the guns, and that's scary to put that in the hands of the government.
Yeah, I thought about that when he said it, because make these New Year's resolutions, and remember one time I got some jogging shoes and I put them on the front porch and the damn things just wouldn't jog. Did you hear anything?
That's funny. The jogging shoes went and jogged. But yeah, shout out to that particular town hall. I was seeing quite a few of the responses. People overwhelmingly thought that JD Vance took Tampon Tim behind the woodshed. Took him behind the woodshed and did what had to be done. And it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close at all. Now, there's more I got to show. I got to show more of the reactions, more of the responses. That was probably the funniest part, seeing the news people squirm, your MS-13 DNC, and they got Trump derangement syndrome real bad. I don't know if we can invest money, if we could do a GoFundMe and to get any people some therapy or something, because they need it. They need it really, 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 really badly. All right, let's start with CNN. This was an admission that Tampon Tim just wasn't cutting the mustard. Check it out. This is Abby Phillip.
I think we shouldn't lose track. I think even in the civility of the fact that J.D. Vance came to this debate to land a bunch of punches, and he did. He landed a lot of punches in between all the niceties and all of that. And the thing that really stood out to me was that Tim Walz did not seem prepared for it. I think we shouldn't lose track. I think even in the civility of the...
He was not ready. He was not ready at all. Now, here we are on CNN. Let's see what they say.
But at the beginning, the two issues driving the campaign right now are...
It's John King. John King for CNN.
Harris has a big deficit on the economy. Harris has a big deficit on immigration. And Republicans were happy tonight, and Democrats a little bit nervous that on those two issues, Vance carried it.
All right. Now we got some more. Now, these liberal stations, man, your appearance matters, man. I'm not trying to see you bald head with a shaved bald head. Even me, I got a bald head. I would never pop up with like stubble and stuff on my head. I at least have it like all the way shaved down to the bare, you know.
It's the audacity. I agree with you that we're in year 9 and no one knows how to cover the audacity. The audacity is it someone should have said, stop it, stop. Are you effing kidding me? And they should have dropped that F-bomb, right? I mean, they should have just, this is a debate. This may be the only chance people have to see the difference.
They are always so triggered. And then, look, this lady right here, that right there, my friends, that is Trump derangement syndrome. Clear signs, year 9. What is that in reference to? Okay, it's 2024 right now, so a little bit of quick math. I'm no Albert Einstein. I don't know what 2 + 2 is, but I think 2024 minus 9 is 2015, right? Isn't that when Trump came down the escalator with Melania? So I guess that is like the point of their misery. When they go to their therapist and they sit and talk and they're like, hey, when did all of these problems start? Oh, it was 2015 when Trump came down the escalator. My world ended. Okay, that's kind of how they operate. And they encourage people that watch them to feel the same way. It's been 9 years of misery. I hate Trump with all the fiber of my being. That kind of behavior enables those who may want to commit violence because you're preaching such hatred toward one person. But anyway, I digress.
Is it someone should have said, stop it, stop. Are you effing kidding me? And they should have dropped that F-bomb, right? I mean, they should have just, this is a debate. This may be the only chance people have to see the difference. She was
upset. Upset. I think there's one more. There's one more. Oh yeah. Here's Jen Psaki calling out Kamala for not talking to the media. This could have been before or after the debate. I'm not quite sure.
He's been absent. I think that's a huge mistake to hold him back and not put him out there.
Meaning he hasn't been on the media.
He hasn't been
Oh, Tampon Tim. Yeah, Tampon Tim hasn't really been on the media.
out in the media for a while. He's been absent. I do think that's a missed opportunity. He's been absent. I think.
Yeah, so even they admit that you got to still be out there talking to people. But I think Tim Walz, like I said, he's just as bad as Kamala. So they were right to not let him talk to the media, because if he does, then he's going to look crazy. And they know that they really can't make this guy look better than how he looks. He's not going to look good. It's just as simple as that. He's not going to look good. So they already know, keep him away from television. Unfortunately for them, they had to put him out there for the debate. They couldn't hide him anymore. Let him go out there and say a few things and then have that be that. All right. Now, Biden made an appearance. I'm going to show this, and I'm going to get to the calls and super chats and whatnot. But look, here's Biden. I thought he was just retired to the beach. He could barely sit down. Got that whisper stuff in his ear. I mean, this is real bad. And you know they had to really get him prepped for this moment, right? It's not like he just got out the bed. Well, he probably was in the bed. But he didn't just come from a 18-hour day, wheeling and dealing. He came straight from the bed with a cup of applesauce, and they put him right there in the seat to let him talk for 5 minutes, and then that's going to be the end of his day. But even doing that, he still looks very bad. He still looks very weak and frail. But they knew he would be in this position when they were trying to make him run back in 2020. They knew this because we saw that he was in decline then. We saw that. And now you're seeing it live and in full color. Now you're seeing it. Look, the Mr. Burns hands straight down. Come on, man. It's crazy. And then who they want to replace him isn't that much better. Yes, they're younger, but mentally they're not really sharp. They about as sharp as a whole butter knife. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I got super chats on deck. I'm going to read those right quick. Then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. I'll get to the calls in just one moment. Y'all please hang tight. Thank you to Caius Posthumous, who says the port strike will hinder needed aid to states. Thank you to Abu Bakr Al-Puff. That's a good point, too, actually. Thank you to Abu Bakr Al-Puff Daddy, who says conservative talk radio host Mark Davis speculates October surprise will be Biden resigns, so Kamala is president before the vote. What's your opinion on that? I mean, that could happen, but I think that would encourage people to go out there and vote more to get her out of the office. People that want to vote for her anyway would appreciate that she's there. But I think people that don't like her will get her out of the office. Also, Apu says, ABL, when driving, you listen to talk radio, music, tape. Usually, it depends. If I'm going far, like a podcast, if I am not going far, probably music. Yeah, that's probably what I'm doing. Thank you to Apu again, who says, what are your pet peeves about other drivers? People that don't pay attention to the road. That's the main thing. It's like, I watch all the time people on the road. I can see in your vehicle. You on your phone. The light turned green. You ain't doing nothing. Listen, when the light turns green, I need you to put the pedal to the metal. Ain't no lollygagging, trying to end your phone call. Nah, man, go ahead and go. Be paying attention to the road. I drive fast all the time, but I'm not going to drive fast in a residential area, a town, someplace where I shouldn't be going fast. people that drive past school buses with the stop sign, you need to get locked up, actually. You should go to the penitentiary for doing stuff like that because you got to stop for a reason, okay? Because you know how kids are. They're going to run out. They might fall over, drop stuff in the road. Just stay stopped. I promise, wherever you're going, you'll get there in time. I know you want to get to the dope man to get your little pack of fentanyl, but I promise you're not going to keel over in 5 seconds. You'll be just fine. Oh, that's something else. Impaired drivers, drunk, high, I hate it. New Year's Eve, I never go out because that's when all the rookies go out. They never go out any other time except for New Year's Eve. And they like to drink and get in the car and drive, which is completely irresponsible. So if you're a rookie person and you only have the skill to be impaired and drive because you don't really leave like, you don't really do that. You don't party like that. You're not a party drinker type person. So you get on the road and you can't drive. And now I got to share this face with you. I'm good. Yeah, I don't like impaired drivers, people that don't pay attention, just overall bad drivers. Oh, how about I don't like migrants with no license and no insurance either. That's a big one. You know, now I was making the joke previously about being in my big truck and being up on your hind parts of my high beams. Actually, I want to keep my distance. I don't want you to have some kind of vehicle malfunction and my truck crashes into your car. You have no insurance, no money. All it's going to be for me is a bill that I got to pay because you don't got no money. Okay, the police come. No English. Ain't nobody got no time for that. Thank you to Apple again who says, God bless Corey Comparatore, victim of deep state. Thank you to Apple again who says, feds prosecuting P. Diddy hard, but let Hunter go free. Shout out to Justin Cameron who says, Fang can catch me up. Shout out to Justin Cameron who says, Jimmy Carter looks like he remembers when they invented chocolate and he always liked it. That's funny. Thank you to Roberto Reason who says, the wheelchair guy says, enough with Jimmy Carter, right on. Thank you, Michael Guest who says, that's disgusting, elder abuse. Yeah, Jimmy Carter, the whole situation. Apple also says, ABL, which is worse, Jimmy Carter or DNC Putty? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Jimmy Carter, man, mouth open, looking dead in the chair is crazy. Leave that man be, please. Apple also says, ABL, Jay Farrell was funny on Carvey Spade podcast. I got to hear him on that podcast. Shout out to Jay Farrell, my high school classmate. Well, not classmate. We went to the same high school at the same time, but I was older than him by like a year or two. But I would always see him in class. He looked the exact same from when he was in school. The exact same. Yep. And I graduated in 02, so I tell you how old we are. Apple also says, ABL, do you play an instrument? What do you play? I do not play an instrument, but I will learn to play the piano. I'm going to get a baby grand piano from my living area, from my flex room, because I don't know what to put there, really. So for that flex room, I'm going to put a baby grand piano, and I'm going to learn to play it. Thank you to Top Towns Real Estate, who says, say no to communism, spelled as in Kamala Harris. Shout out to you, Top Towns Real Estate. Thank you to DSU, Digital Shore Underground, who says, my dude Jimmy Carter got that face, but I ain't going to say what you wrote because it's a family show. Thank you to Michael Guest, who says, wait until all the migrants see the Kamala for President signs in the front yards. They will come for the free bed and breakfast they are expecting. Yeah, right, exactly. Hey, if you have a Kamala sign in your front yard, I think you should take up to 25 migrants for each house. You got space because they be deep like that in the houses in Springfield, cots on the ground, pallets. Yeah, put some prison bunk beds in your spare bedroom or in your basement. Let 18 Haitians stay down there or whatever they come from. Venezuela, Africa, Europe, wherever they come from. Let them stay down there and see what happens. Michael Guest says, just keep posting Kamala for President signs in your front yards. Michael Guest also says, Kamala Harris is no go to my ear. Yeah, go to my ear. I know you're talking about. And no Margaret Thatcher. Shout out to you. Thank you to Hail Mary, who said, thanks for being my cool kids lingo interpreter. Hey, no problem. I got you. I got you all day long. Thank you to Tony Hay Munkits for the super chat or being a member saying hello, Sheree. Thank you to K-Dub who says, what's up with Steven Jackson's outfit? With a checkerboard, Mason maybe? I don't know what was going on. He was sitting weird. The outfit was weird. It was a whole lot going on. I couldn't tell you. All I could do is speculate that something ain't right. Thank you to Jadism who says, ABL, thanks for your work. What is this country like if Kamala Harris does win? Is there even another election? Well, what's going to happen is whatever the people who are in charge, the deep state, want to happen, that's going to happen. There's going to be no way to really stop their advances because you got the government and shadow government. The government, these are the normies, the official people, and they're influenced by outside forces who are influenced by the shadow government to do certain things. Okay, you got a guy or a girl in office. All right, offer him X amount of money to do X thing, or just be in his campaign, get some dirt on him, and then threaten to release it if he doesn't do X, Y, and Z. Then you got foreign countries involved. You got the fangs of the world, all this, that, and the third. There's a lot of things going on, but your job in the actual government is to abide by the will of the people and resist or eliminate the outside influences and the outside threats. You see, Kamala Harris is a company person who will do whatever she's told to do. She's not going to be a leader. She's going to be an employee. And that's okay to be an employee, but not if you are the boss. You got to be the boss. You got to be the one that makes everybody not built for that. Not everyone wants that responsibility because when things go right, everybody praises you, they love you. But when things go wrong, it's your fault. You're the reason why somebody cannot eat food. You're the reason why they had to go to the penitentiary. You're the reason why somebody lost their house and their car and their kids and everything else. It's you because you're the leader. It's your responsibility. But if I'm having a good time, then you may get some praise if I like you. If you don't, then I'm going to still say that you didn't do anything right. But I digress. Shout out to Tavon for the flexing emoji, or Tavon. Thank you to Michael Guess who says, I installed a removable shower head attached to my hose in the bathtub. Yeah, okay. Shout out to you, but I ain't gonna say what you said. You're funny. Shout out to Kai's Parchment who says, new scum claims they're diverting it all to California ports. Speaking about the Longshoreman traffic, yeah, we'll see how that works. To go from the East Coast all the way to the West. So you got to go up above the Arctic. That ain't going to happen. That's a very far way around. You are probably just going to go through the Panama Canal, which will be crowded. Or you got to go all the way across like Argentina and all that. That ain't going to happen. Rebel Without a Reason says that moderator's mouth is so moist. It sounds like she's eating pot rocks. That's funny. Shout out to Raymond Houston for being an ABL supporter. And thank you to BG who says, don't illegals get free car insurance? I don't know about that. What I heard is that they don't have any car insurance. It's nothing. No license, no car insurance, no nothing. You can wreck your car, do whatever you want if you're an illegal, and you pretty much get let off with a slap on the wrist at best. That's kind of how that works. But all right, we got Super chats read. Now time for the calls. The number to call 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let me go ahead and get Skype up and running. There's also an email in the box below. Let's see if this is going to work. All right, Skype. Let's work. There we go. Skype works. Yay. All right. Again, a number to call, 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. And we'll keep on rocking and rolling. Let me get my sound together. And then we'll get to the calls. Okay, there we go. All righty, James, what's going on?
Hey, what's happening, ABL?
It's all good, man. Can't complain.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm worried about the states. My, my hometown's underwater, so.
Oh, really? Are you from, like, Asheville, that area? Where are you from?
Yeah, a little further east, but, like, a town that's right between Asheville and my town just Chimney Rock town. It's just gone, man. Like Noah had floated through or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that town specifically, right through the main. Everything's gone. All of that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I mean, there's so many people from my hometown that I see their Facebook feeds, and my mom and dad don't have power, but they're okay. And my brother's got power and he's a little higher up. So they're like staying over at his place, but it's just nuts. Yeah. It's really scary. So everybody please pray for my family.
Yeah, definitely, man. Hopefully everybody is okay and they're able to get up out of there, because that's something else. One thing about this storm people are not really talking about is how all the roads are washed out. It's talking about Interstate 40. That's going to be gone for months, if not years. It's going to take to fix. So that's a big piece of the problem. You can't really get in or out.
Man, and I'm not used to that. Like, there was something on X earlier today where somebody was like, Tokyo had a huge sinkhole in it. And, 2 months later, everything is pristine. It's huge, like, cars are falling in it. 2 months later, everything's fixed. And then somebody else took a picture of France, and they're like, there's a picture of a little girl back in 1989 standing next to a pothole. And now she's like grown up standing next to the same pothole. And I'm like, yeah, so where's America on this?
Hey, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big effort, but I feel like America has kind of split interests, because we got Americans that have problems, but the migrants
Ukraine and sorry.
Yeah, but now you're right. Ukraine and everywhere else, that seems to be a bigger priority. You got people like what's his name, the president, Zelensky. Every 3 months he comes to the White House in a pair of pajamas asking for $20 billion more, and he gets it. But to American citizens, hey, you got it. You got impacted by this. $700, take that.
So to go to Zelensky, have you seen the Mike Benz interview on either Tucker Carlson or on Sean Ryan?
I've not.
Have you seen? I really like, man, that is highly recommended watching. That's so Sean Ryan interviews Mike Benz, and then he interviews Kash Patel. And between those two interviews, you get a real sense of why America is doing this in Ukraine. And it's essentially minerals and stuff. We want their resources. And we had been doing this play for a long time about how to get it. And Mike is given a really pretty balanced view, because he's like, from a globalist standpoint, I understand why we have to kind of, if you want to keep looking at your cell phone, we can't mine all that stuff here. We have to have it shipping around the world. And Trump's going through and stopping, he's putting tariffs on people, and he's stopping NATO from doing things. But that's how the global stuff keeps working. He says, so I see that point of view. On the other hand, we're suffering for it. And he's right. We got to take care of us first. And then you see like this natural disaster come through, and the government is just kind of like, yeah, I'll take care of Ukraine. North Carolina? Nah. What's going on? I don't know. I mean, that pisses everybody off, but it also made me realize, after watching the vice presidential, debate, why Trump picked Vance. Because if they're trying to knock Trump off, which they've tried twice now, Vance is his life insurance policy. Because if Trump gets elected, and they don't want him dead, because Vance is even more hardcore and he just proved it. I mean, he went in there heavy hitting, man.
Oh yeah,
that was great.
It was amazing. So that team right there for Americans is going to be great, but for a lot of your global interests, they're like, that's not what we want. We want people that we could just control and tell what to do and adhere to our plan.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this, because there are, Trump keeps saying we need to put America first, which every country should be doing. But Mike Benz, he says in this interview, he says, one of the reasons that they keep saying he's a danger to our democracy is that they've changed the definition of democracy, not to mean the people, but to mean the companies behind the country that gives the country its GDP. And there's something to be said for that. But that kind of globalist attitude that goes forward is it's elitist, but it's also somewhat necessary. And then you get Vance, who is clearly far more intelligent, and the left used to actually like him because, you know, he wrote that book, was it Hillbilly Elegy, and it was, you know, pretty solid. And they're like, yeah, this guy, you know, he kind of, it almost sounded like he's playing the victim, but I don't think that's what it's about. But he tells where he's from, and Kamala must love that. I was a young girl, and anyway, but he can see both sides, but he still plays for the right. So yeah, they're not liking him, but if we can get Trump in, then in the next 4 years, he's gone. Then what if Vance and Vivek run? Man, that would be great. Because he and Vivek are pretty good friends, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because they went to school together, and they're from the same place. They're from like the Cincinnati area, Ohio.
Yeah. I mean, man, what a run that would be, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That would be great. All right, listen, it's a great show, man. I don't want to keep you up. I know you got a lot of people calling. It's good to see you. I hope everybody's doing well. Please pray for North Carolina.
All right, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Be good. See you.
All right, great call. Yeah, man. North Carolina, it's a whole lot going on right now out there in that particular part, like the western part. They say that the interstate I-40, like once you get past like Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, all that out there in Tennessee, once you go up in the mountains, that's where all the stuff starts. And it's really just a mess right now, unfortunately. 559, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, Patrick from California. How's it going?
Everything's right, man. How about yourself?
Good, man. Hey, you know, I just want to say, you know, that America is with everybody with the storms right now, the hurricane coming through and wiping everybody out. Prayers out to them. I got to take my hat off to Ron DeSantis and the Florida State Guard and the U.S. National Guard, as well as the first responders. When in some counties that was the hardest hit, they had 0 fatalities. So I do take my hat off to Governor DeSantis and all those that are there for the people of the state of Florida. I was wanting your take, though. You know, it's kind of interesting with the whole port shutdown situation. So they got a 50% offer on their contracts, and they rejected it. So then what are they planning on, you know, rebuttaling on, like bouncing back on with a counter offer? It just seems like, okay, well, if you want 70, 80, 90%, that's astronomical. That's not even common sense. So I'm wondering where they stand with that. You know.
Well, I don't know exactly all the details because there could be more than one thing they want. So they're talking about the pay increase. That's one thing, but then there could be other protections. Like, okay, because they're talking about being protected from automation. Now, I don't know how that works, but that was part of it. So they may have been given the pay increase in the contract, but no protection from automation. So I don't know all the details of what they asked for aside from the pay increase and what they actually got in return as far as a counter offer.
That's strange, man. It seems like, you know, 50% to me. I mean, I know it's rough work and, you know, it's kind of a specialized job, but that seems like a pretty sweet deal to me. I would have taken it if it was me. Of course, yeah, like you mentioned, with certain protections of them not guaranteed, well, next year, you know, you guys could be out of the job from automation. Right. That would be a big problem. But, you know, I just feel, man, that the longer that they keep this going, the more, like other people have been saying, it's going to entice them to replace those ports completely with automation. And once that happens, you know, those guys are going to be out of the job permanently, and it won't be a good deal. So we'll see what happens with that. I also wanted to discuss the debate between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz with you. You know, I thought it was interesting that with the whole, you know, Walz saying that he's friends with school shooters and this, that, and a third. I'm curious. Okay, like what was the point of him even making that statement in the first place? Was he trying to, like, you know, reach out to the pro-gun crowd and make them think that, like, he's flexible with the Second Amendment or something? Like, I don't even see where his mindset was with that. You know, if you're you know, sitting up there like JD Vance was and stating that mental illness is a problem with these gun shootings, then why would Walz immediately say, well, I'm friends with school shooters? It just kind of like completely defeats his entire, argument and trying to bounce back with anything that makes logical sense. I don't know what your take was on that regarding that whole situation.
I don't think he meant to say that specifically. I think maybe he meant to say, I've befriended some of the school shooting victims. I think, although he's so bad when he speaks, he is not able to express himself clearly, because they were asking him, they were asking him to clarify, okay, what did you really mean by that? And he had a hard time answering the question. The first time they asked him, he was in the pizza shop, and then not one but two reporters asked him. He just ignored them after he just was talking to one of the reporters who asked him a question in the same place. So you're ignoring the question, and then when you're asked again and you can't ignore it, you go all the way around. You beat around the bush and never get to the actual answer. So he's just a bad communicator in general. That's the ultimate problem here.
Right. I agree with you 100% on that. It's like a Joe Biden 2.0 or something in my eyes. That's why when I stated a video or so ago that you made the other day about him, Vance destroyed him. Now Joe Biden can exit stage left because that's exactly what that is. So Absolutely. Anyway, hey, ABL, I appreciate it so much for taking my call. And as always, you take care, sir, and God bless the United States of America.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. All right, great call. Shout out to the caller. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Who am I speaking to you online? 617?
Hey, what's going on, Anthony?
What's happening?
What's good?
Everything's good.
It's gonna be short. It's gonna be short this time, probably less than 5 minutes. So, you were reading the report from. I guess you were talking about a video that you did about concerning about report from ICE concerning about illegal immigrants, non-citizens being outside the U.S. or something, being pretty much being charged with crimes, but still being on the loose.
Okay, so what did I say now?
Well, you didn't say anything. The problem is the Fox News, the media distorted what the report says. You didn't say anything. You just reported what they are reporting. It's not your fault. That's what you do. You promote videos. You report what they say.
So what did I report? Like, what are you talking about exactly?
Well, you said that 425,000 illegal immigrants that committed crime there on the loose in the United States. That's correct, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 425,000 have been convicted.
Okay, that they've been convicted. This is what the media don't tell you. That's how they distort the news, the information. First of all, not all of them were illegal immigrants. Some of them came here legally. Some of them were green card holders. That's one. Number two is that not all those people are on the loose, because some of them are in prisons. They just haven't been with in custody of ICE. So that's just not true. That's not true. The ICE director reported to Senator Gonzalez and told him this is not true what you guys were telling the media.
So are they here or not?
Well, they are here. Some of them they are here. Some of them they are in custody in prisons. Some of them they are in ICE custody. I mean, the total there were 625,000. I think 424,000 they are in the loose, and all of them, some of them committed crimes here, because remember, this report includes reporting since 5 decades ago, so since the 1980s. So it could be someone that being accused or committed homicide in 1980 or second-degree murder and was released probably in 2015 and was never picked up by ICE, and now it's on the loose. But the way that the media, the story is making believe that this all was done by the Biden and Harris administration, and it's not true. I mean, you're talking about I'm 52 years old. You're talking about 1980s. This is like, I came in 1986. I mean, this is people that probably they're dead. Who knows?
Okay, so
and they're talking about like, oh, they're in the loose. No, all of them they're in the loose. Some of the nice cuts that what they did say, that the Winter Report say, that there were some discrepancy because some of the states were not collaborating with ICE, but they were not collaborating in cases like murder or rape or any of the. They might be not collaborating in minor offenses, and that's with the sanctuary cities. They might be saying, oh, some of the cities might not be collaborating with ICE because they were repeated offender, maybe theft, maybe going stealing from CVS or little things like that, and then they were released.
We got 15,000 that were convicted of murder. No, 13,000. 13,000 with murder convictions and 15,000 with sex offender convictions.
Yeah, but this is since 1980s though, so this is not happened during the. There might be some during the Biden and Harris, but you're talking about 4 decades ago. That's one. Another thing is we're talking about.
So wait a minute. Do you think the problem has gotten better or worse under the Biden-Harris administration with criminal migrants?
No, they did get worse in the sense of because they released them, and now let me help you understand.
The question was, has it gotten better or worse? Which one?
It's almost the same. It's almost the same. It's been small minor changes, but you see, the people that have been released under the Biden-Harris administration, they might not be serious criminals. They might be people that committed minor crimes. So I
said 13,000 murderers and 15,000 sex offenders.
But this is since 1980. I already explained to you. Since 1980.
Okay.
So this is not the new.
So the trend. Excuse me. So the trend there, Agro Venezuelan gang, has been since the 1980s. Is that what we're saying? These kids that's like 18 years old, they've been since the 80s, or is it a recent phenomenon?
No, there's no been since 1980s. No.
So,
but the majority of the cases been since 1980s. So you got to read the report. Just read the report and give the information to your audience. That's the best way to analyze.
So how many border crossings, illegal border crossings have we had under the Biden-Harris administration compared to Donald Trump?
Higher from the Biden.
I said how many. I ain't say if it was higher or lower. I said how many.
Those things specify the report, but read the report.
So
read the report.
8.2 million under Biden-Harris.
More, yeah. I told you.
Excuse me. I didn't say if it was more. I said how many. I didn't say if it was more or less. 8.2 million under Biden-Harris up until right now, from the time they started, and 2.7 million under Donald Trump. So definitely a big difference, and that's the problem ultimately.
The Biden administration deported over 1 million people. So
okay, but 8.2 compared to 2.7 million. I mean, come on, man. The numbers are the numbers. It is what it is. He hung up. I got him on that one. He didn't like that number right there. Let's keep on going. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Let's go to 918. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's JV Scotchman from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not a lot. I haven't been a lot since I called in, but I still listen to your show all the time, watch your videos, so I'm still around. I just don't call in as much. But one thing I wanted to comment on, I love the meme of Donald Trump carrying those 2 kittens, saving those kittens from the Haitians out in, Ohio? Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. Let me tell you a quick short story. Because when I was growing up as a kid in a small town in Oklahoma, it wasn't a lot to do. Me and my friend would go out at night and wander the streets and the alleys and just mess around. And and back then, this would have been like early 90s, late 80s. There were a few Mexicans you know, in the area at the time. They were working at the mushroom farm. And, of course, over time, it just kept growing and growing and growing. But I'll tell you what, as a young man, as a young child, me and my best friend Nick, we witnessed some Mexicans stringing up dogs, and they preferably liked chow dogs the best. That's what all the Mexicans had in that town. They had dogs. They had chows. But no, we watched them string it up. We watched them cut it up. We watched them fillet it, and we watched the mom go inside and cook it up. So, yeah, it's happening. You know, and like when Kamala was like, and that moderator on CBS is like, well, there are a lot of Haitian immigrants in that town. It's like, okay, yeah, but they're still eating domesticated animals. It's like, I've seen it myself. I don't need to be fact-checked. I've witnessed it with my own eyes, and unfortunately, I've tasted it with my own mouth, you know, one time. I'm like, oh, man. But, no, that is going on, yeah. And that happens all over the world, too, not just in America. I mean, you know, like parts of Asia, you know, cat, dog. I mean, it's like no big thing for them. But, yeah, I'm not down with it, man, you know. But I just thought I'd call and let you know, yeah, I have witnessed that happen with my own eyes. And then we saw the evidence, like 2 days later. Me and my friend go walking down the alley, look in the trash can. There's a big trash bag full of guts and skins and yeah, the birds were pecking at it. It's like, yeah. So it is going on. I don't care what the hell Kamala says or who facts check it. I've seen it myself.
Right on.
Yeah. So all I'm calling to say, man, hey, Trump 2024, I mean, this election is looking good. We got to carry it, man. We got to carry it across the next level.
Right on, man. Absolutely.
All right, dude. All right, love you, man. I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, later, man.
All right, shout out to my man for the call. Great call. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. 409, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, brother? This is Colin from Texas. How you doing?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, man. First and foremost, I just want to address Ivan's rants about immigration. Look, I'm going to make it simple for you, Ivan. It's the rule of law. That's what we boil it down to. There's too much people are not being held accountable for their actions in this country, and it's destroying this country. Without laws, we are not a nation. People make the argument of, oh, how are we going to separate, kids from their parents if they broke the law? What's that going to look like? Newsflash, Ivan, that happens every single day in America. Parents are separated from their children because they chose to break the law. That's not bigotry. It's just a fact of life. We are a nation of laws. It's that simple. If you don't belong here, you need to go. That being said, to my point, I've noticed a lot of videos of African Americans who are making the argument against people coming into this country illegally receiving tax dollars. And I couldn't help but notice the arguments that they're making are the same arguments that white people have been making regarding reparations for years and called bigots for doing so. As an African American, I would like your input as to that comparison. And do you think this immigration crisis has changed the discussion for reparations moving forward? And that's all I got, brother.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. To answer the question, reparations and the migrants are two different issues. What's happening with people that are talking about reparations and, okay, if you got a black person that says reparations now, whatever, they think that anything that America does to help people should only help American citizens. And they feel uniquely entitled because of the legacy of slavery. When you bring in the migrants and they're getting money, it's like, well, wait a minute. That's our money that you're getting. Not necessarily our money as in we're owed that from reparations, although that's part of it. The main thing is that that's our taxpayer money. So if we're going to spend taxpayer money, why are we giving it to non-citizens? Why not give it to the people that are here? Now, listen, reparations is kind of a dumb argument because it's never going to happen. Okay, like, it's something that has been talked about my entire adult life. Really, my whole life, period. Before I was even born, this was an issue. Back during my dad's time and my granddad's time and my great-granddad's time. What I don't want people to do is get caught up in trying to chase this thing that'll probably never reach them. Because you live your whole life not being able to accomplish the thing where you could have just put the energy toward making something happen for yourself. You see what I'm saying? That'd be kind of where I'm at with it. So, no, they're not going to change their tune reparations because it's two different things. It's not the same thing at all. One is about American citizens and the other is about illegal aliens. So the two really don't mix unless we're illegal aliens, which we're not. But again, I don't really, that conversation, it goes nowhere. It goes nowhere. So I don't even really have it. I just focus on living in this country and making the best for myself. All this, are we going to get it? It just, I don't really see the purpose in talking about that. All righty, Les, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, how are you?
I'm good. About yourself?
Good, good. Great show tonight. And thank you, by the way, for hosting the VP debate yesterday. That was awesome.
Oh, no problem. Have fun.
But I did want to go ahead and touch on something that is very infamous of the Democrats Party, especially. It's like they like to use buzzwords, and I know a lot of us have noticed that, especially when they come down to, well, we have to ban assault weapons because of gun violence, right? Mm-hmm. But what they fail to go ahead and what they fail to tell the general public is that a lot of these gun violence that's going on it's all individuals that own a weapon illegally, a gun illegally. They're not purchasing it the legal route the way, we, the American people, the law-abiding citizens would.
Right.
So it's just, instilling more fear. And it's like, again, like how can you brainwash the masses? It's by not only giving the masses scary stories, or continuing, to push the same rhetoric and examples of certain things or events that have happened that include guns. But they just failed to go ahead and also spit the truth and spit the facts. Because if that was the case, right, ABL, if guns were really an issue, and I'm not saying, well, guns are not the issue, right? I'm saying what the person with the gun is the one at the end of the day that has the intention whether to do good or do bad, right? So what they go ahead, oh my goodness, I cannot. I think I lost what I was gonna say, ABL. I'm getting too triggered here when it comes down to our Second Amendment. But what I want to go ahead and just say, if that was the case, right? Look at Chicago. I got it. I'm sorry. I apologize. So look at Chicago, right? We have one of the strictest gun laws. If that was the case, why is Chicago still like it's so crazy? It's so infested with gun violence, like, that says it all. It's not the fact of the individuals buying it the legal route. It's the individuals that are obtaining it the illegal route. And also, I want to go ahead and say this, ABL, because I know Ivan was on the call last week, and I have to say, I know sometimes maybe you don't want the smoke, but I want the smoke. We got to call it out for what it is, everybody, okay? Illegals are illegals, period. And when President Trump goes ahead and steps his foot into the White Office, mass deportation at its finest. I hope and I'm praying. Let's get it.
Right on. Absolutely.
Right. Alrighty. No, that's all I wanted to say, ABL. Because if you don't want the smoke, I'll take all the smoke. I'll go at it with Ivan for you. Don't worry. But have a good night. God bless, and God bless everyone in the chat. And take care.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Les. Great call as always. Absolutely. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. 504. You're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right. Shout out to the callers and you. I've been really enjoying the show. And also, you did well with Ivan. You made very good points.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So, yeah, I was learning today about the port strike. And also, because I remember today I was hearing about the shortages in the stores and people are hoarding the toilet paper again. And I made a video about it. And my subscribers were telling me that it is very inconsiderate what these people are doing, and they're just doing it all over again. And one of them was telling me that they wanted a 77% increase in their pay, and it's not like a logical way to think, 'cause it's just irrational. And what the companies offered was very generous. And if they keep doing that, it's like eventually they could lose their jobs, and then they would just be replaced by the illegal migrants.
Well, what's going to happen is they're going to get replaced by the automation. That's going to be the ultimate thing. Yeah, because that's already happening in some of the ports. You go to the West Coast, they already got a lot of the dock already automated. So that'll be, even better than the migrants, because the machines ain't going to get sick. They're not going to want to take holidays off. They're not going to strike. They're not going to stop working. They're going to keep on working. All you got to do is bring in techs that are going to service the machines and keep it moving.
Excellent point. I remember, and you've showed this before, that there's all these, like at Burger King and all these different places, they have these robots flipping burgers and doing all kinds of things. And yeah, I definitely do agree with that the technology is going to replace a lot of the people.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, but it is what it is.
Right. Also with, for instance, customer service, I was seeing another video about it, another YouTuber made, that like at McDonald's, which I've seen in the past, they have these like computers you could talk to, and AI that could be customer service. It could take orders, so it's being replaced in all different fields.
Oh yeah. It's really a thing. People got to just, adjust, get different skills, because automation is a serious thing.
Absolutely. Because there's all these different, like the Industrial Revolution, different technology advancing in different time periods. And it looks like in this time period, people are going to lose more jobs in theory than gain by keeping up the technology, because it just takes a few people to keep up these kind of machines and stuff. In my opinion, I'm not 100% certain, but a lot of people would be replaced, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what they can do to try to stop that is just have more skilled trades, things that can't really be automated yet. Okay, you're a pipe fitter, welder, something like this. Maybe one day they can try to automate that, but as of right now, a lot of these skills still require human beings to do. So that'd be my advice to anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Very good point. You make money by solving other people's problems.
That's right.
Yeah. So I do think that's an excellent suggestion. And also, I was watching the Vance and Walz debate. I did see your stream, but in the beginning part, I was making a beat, and I didn't know it was on, but then I saw it was on, and I got to see the rerun of it. But I did see your live stream yesterday. And yeah, Walz seemed very nervous, and he seemed like, that he was on something, and then Vance was very calm and collective, and he was very stern. He was not mean. He was very stern, and he stomped him in the wine, in my opinion.
Hey, he sure did. Stomped right in the wine.
Yeah. And also, yeah, he didn't do the speaking well. He was talking about the school shooter thing. Yeah, that certainly wasn't the best way he could have put it. And of course it has to do with mental illness. I study a lot about these shooters because of the trials I watch. And it's very clear that these people, there's something wrong with them upstairs, and people have evil motives and stuff too. And people could be psychopathic and stuff like that. some like school shooters, there's all kinds of different reasons they could do it, and it's not good, of course. But it's not the gun itself, the pew-pew itself, rather. Or they could use other kind of things, too.
Absolutely. 100% correct. But, there's always a narrative to push when you're dealing with politicians. They're talking about, like with Tampon Tim saying, it's the guns. Sometimes it's the guns, but he's a gun owner. So he'll say anything to push a narrative, even if it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, as you famously say, the rules is don't do as I say, do as I do. It's something like that.
Yeah, rules for thee, but not for me.
Rules for thee, but not for thee. Yeah, thank you. And also, it's good you pointed out about the deep state, because so many people don't realize, a lot of the normies understand. There's the shadow government that's there, and I think it was created, if I'm recalling correctly, because if we got nuked at some point in the Cold War, there would be some other government there to run things. But it got, in my opinion, I've heard it may have gotten corrupted and did its own thing. And then it wanted to do things the way it wanted to do. And who knows if it's influenced by other outside sources or other countries. And it's good that America stands for itself and focuses on its own nations first. Such like the hurricane. I went through Katrina, and other hurricanes. I completely understand what these people are going through. And it's important for as many resources to go to the people affected in those areas.
100%, absolutely.
Yeah, and there's so many outages, and also in rural areas too. And it's not just in one city; it's over a couple of states. And these people are not necessarily as familiar with hurricanes as I am, and it deleted quite a few people, and it caused a lot of flooding. And yeah, it's a bunch of mayhem.
Yeah, it really is. Really, really unfortunate. Really bad situation. Really unfortunate.
Yeah, and also I think that basically with the migrants, very good points about them, and also anybody that thinks otherwise needs to do their research. And basically, I think that there's a lot of crazy things are going to be happening as we get towards the end of the year, and I wouldn't be surprised if the strike has something to do with, in my opinion, with my tinfoil hat, some sort of a ploy to cause, disorientation with society.
Yeah, that definitely could happen, but hopefully it doesn't.
Right, it's good for people to be prepared and stock up and all. And ABL, that's all to say for this call. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right, great call from my main man, Alien Spaceship, but that will be a wrap for me. I will see you guys again live on Saturday, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, I'm here every day putting out pre-recorded content right on the channel. I've been gone from my Uncle ABL for forever. My first new video when I come back, because I keep getting asked the same question over and over, I'm going to give you guys my computer setup. I didn't really want to give you guys my computer setup because I don't want to have you guys get something you don't need. But what I'm going to do on my computer setup video is show you my tripod, little cheap setup. And I'm going to give you a link to the little cheap tripod setup. I got a tripod set up for $20. You get a light, the tripod, and the adjustable little base. And an external microphone, $20. I got a link for that. But I'm gonna show you my big expensive setup that I've built for. I've got this setup cracking over years of time. Years. I've been doing this since what they say. It's been 9 years of this, man. I've been here since right around 2015. So I've gotten things throughout the years and I put it together in what I got right now. So Erica Williams, if you're watching, I got you. I'm gonna make the video and show you my setup, and then you can have everything you need. And I'm gonna link to all the products that you can buy, okay? But again, anybody wanting to be a content creator or something like that, you don't got to start at the top. Just start filming yourself and don't quit your day job. Don't quit your day job. If you want to be a content creator, get you a regular job at first, work that, be a normie, come home at night on the weekend, make content. When you get off of work, make a video, put it up. On the weekend, put out a couple more. That's it. But keep your day job like I did. I didn't stop what I was doing before YouTube until 2017 or 2018. Really, I was still getting design work as late as like 2018. I had one more big job from my African homie. over in Angola, Africa. I had one big job. It was like $2,000, I think. That I may have done that in like 2018. So don't quit your day job is the moral of the story. But you can also at the same time be a content creator. All right. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. Again, I'll be back live on Saturday, same bat time, same bat place. I'm here every day putting out pre-recorded content. Uncle ABL. That channel is there in the description. What I mean by regular job is, and pardon me, I gotta blow my nose. What I mean by regular job is whatever you do to make money that puts food on the table. If you get a job now or some kind of way to make money now, whatever it is, self-employed, work for a company, whatever you're doing, maybe you smoke crack for a living. I don't know what you do to make money, but whatever you're doing right now to eat, keep doing that if you want to be a content creator, because what some guys will do is jump out the window and just say, leap of faith, I'm going to be a content creator. Please don't do that because you don't really know what goes into doing what you want to do. Now, if you get it to a point where it's starting to really take off, you see longevity, make a decision, but don't do that until then. Please, I beg you. I beg, please don't do it. Now, Duel says, what do you think of AI taking over graphic design? Well, look, graphic design for me has been dead for a long time because, or I won't say it was dead for a long time. I'll say that it changed because I'm old. I started graphic design really making money 2005, 2006, maybe. By 2007, I was fully self-employed with graphic design completely. Making a living, having my apartment and whatnot. So 2007, how old was I? 22, 23? I was young. Yeah, I was 22 when I became full-time graphic design self-employed. But when I was like 18, 19, excuse me, I'm falling apart over here. I get some water. Hold on. When I was 18 or 19, I got some money from it. But when I was like 28, 29, here comes Instagram. It killed the club flyer game that I was doing a lot of. So once that died, then I had to do more web design stuff. So you always got to adjust. So I had to adjust from that in 2012. So, and then here comes Fiverr. So now you're competing with guys over in India. Here comes AI. Here comes Canva, stuff like this. Back in my day, here goes old man shakes fist at cloud. Back in my day, when I used to make the club flyers, I used to have to cut the pictures by hand using my mouse and drawing a pen outline around the person I wanted to cut out. Then I make a selection. I will select the actual pen, make a selection, cut the person out. And then I would take my mouse again and feather the edges with the tool, with the brush tool, feather the edges so it didn't look too crazy and it looked kind of blended. Okay. But now you go to Canva, you just copy and paste a picture on the canvas, hit the background remover, and it's done in 2 seconds. And it's easy. Save it as a transparent background PNG and you get to go. I did that with my Puff Daddy video. Today, I cut them out and put them on top just because I just wanted to try it. And it was that simple. It was that simple. Yeah. So, to answer the question about AI, you got to always adjust. That's why I said, if you got a skill that can't really be automated, a computer can't do it, you're working with your hands, you can build things, you can fix things. That's always going to be needed, and you can do different things with those skills. You see, you're always going to be in demand if you have those skills. Are you going to be a multi-trillionaire? Maybe, maybe not. But you'll always be able to eat. You'll always be able to have something and do something, and you can fend for yourself better working with your hands. All right, but shout out to, did I get everybody's super chats? Okay. Oh yeah, I'm way off my thing. Shout out to you guys for watching, retweeting, super chat, and I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to the mods, keeping everything, all the trolls in check. And we got super chats on deck. I'm going to read those right quick. Then I wrap it on up and put the bowl clean on top. All right. Oh, and also, I don't use any more Adobe products. I did for 20 years almost, Adobe products, since I've been real, like high school maybe. Photoshop, all of that. I don't use any more Adobe products. I was paying $55 a month for a subscription to Adobe products. I was using Photoshop, Illustrator, and that might have been it. Adobe Audition for the sound, Premiere Pro. So I was using Premiere Pro, Illustrator, Photoshop, and Audition for the sound. But now I use a program called Ocean Audio, DaVinci Resolve, and Affinity Photo. And there's no more subscription. I think even DaVinci Resolve is free. So is Ocean Audio. You got to pay for DaVinci Resolve if you want advanced features. And Affinity Photo for Photoshop, it was like, I gave them like $100 maybe not even that much. And I didn't have to pay that much. But I just wanted to because I thought it was a good program. Yeah, Adobe I'm not really a fan of. Okay, I got super chats. I'm going to read those right quick. Then I wrap it on up and put the bow on top. I'm sorry for the sniffing. I am not on cocaine like Voldemort Zelensky. All right, let me go here and see if I got everybody. I think it's a Fletcher boy who says Anthony is a true patriot. I appreciate that. And I think I already read this one. BG says, don't illegals get free car insurance? I don't think they have any car insurance, and that's part of the problem. They will crash into you, wreck your whole car, and walk away like nothing happened. Because what's going to be the penalty if they do or don't? They can do whatever they want. All right. That will be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all as always. I'll be back on Saturday with another live stream. And I'm here every day putting out pre-recorded content. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.